Why are you not answering his question?
We have been told
It's a
there's a
trick
unified
question.
theory of anything, a unified law of anything they come out with a law.
Incorrect.
So you're saying that
That's why it's a trick question.
For X amount of time, the unified theory of physics was Newton, and this is disproving that. Is that what your claim is?
Well, yeah, that was the law, right? That means it works
Awesome.
everywhere.
I'm going to make so many papers that say Newton's laws are not unified, and there is no unified laws of physics.
No, we know that. That's what you're telling us. We know it's not unified, but you seem to think it was. Now we're letting you know that that's not the case.
So if it's not unified,
right. You're coming from two different axioms. Right.
Kimo, when did anyone...
Look, you need to be up to date with the current science. Jeremy, explain what this...
when did anyone ever say that it was unified?
So we were told that these laws work everywhere. Yeah?
By who?
And were you listening correctly?
Of course.
Told us this. Nobel Physics Prize winner 2020. That's by who.
She's saying the same thing. We already know.
Yeah. Go back to debunking Foucault's pendulum.
Newtonian gravity is not a... Yeah. As far as what she said, Newtonian gravity is not a fine enough tool to use in supermassive black hole physics. That's understood. We understand that.
Yes, do you understand that the laws need to work everywhere?
Well,
it doesn't work on everything,
Jeremy. That's what you need to accept.
Everywhere in the universe.
Not on everything,
when you're having a cup of tea.
Not on everything, though.
Well, to be called a unified theory, it had to work on everything.
Well, it's not a unified theory, though. No one's calling it.
Who's ever said it's unified theory?
The laws themselves. No, not unified.
What that means, that they're missing the point, Jeremy. If it's not unified, you can rule it out, throw it out.
No, that's not.
It's not a law.
That's not what it means.
That means there's no such thing as a scientific law.
Look at the ideal gas law, Jeremy. Once you start applying immense amounts of pressure, it no longer works the way it did at lower pressures. Does that mean that it's invalid? No, it means that it was designed with specific constraints where it applies.
Hell, the ideal gas law doesn't even work in any kind of reality. It only works like in an abstract, theoretical world.
Exactly. And what happens when you reduce the temperature of certain gases to the point to where they're at their triple point?
Is that this
magic?
Oh no! The whole fluid dynamics has to go out the window.
No, to them it's magic.
Can someone post a link in chat? I'd like to read it. What the paper is.
I just posted it again.
Okay, thank you.
It's not even a paper. It's an interview where she is
I put the paper. I put the paper that the interview is based on.
That's the paper. Yeah. I'll go through it.
So, Kimo, just curious, how do you define a law without constraints? Like if I say there's a law of 55 miles per hour, right? And that's the law of the land. Like, let's say it's a federal law. You can't drive faster than 55 miles an hour, right? But I'm in an airplane on an airport. Do you then say, well, the law of 55 miles an hour on the road doesn't, throw it out?
This is not analogous at all.
Why is it not analogous?
That is a very good analogy.
Why is it not analogous?
It's pure nonsense.
Why? If you're on the ground, you cannot go faster than 55 miles an hour. Let's just say 75 miles an hour, whatever it is.
I'll let one of the Globers handle you. Go ahead.
Now, if that's not analogous, and you have an airplane that has to lift off the runway, it has to go faster than 55 miles.
The federal government doesn't set speed limits. Sorry.
Right. So let's say state by state, city by city. It doesn't matter.
All right. So just change your analogy then, because it was a bad one.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
It really wasn't that bad.
It was terrible, and whoever agreed with it is a moron because the federal government doesn't set speed limits. Starting over.
Who does?
I didn't smoke the EU train today.
All right, I'll let him finish his analogy, but he's always.
So are we good or what? Because you don't need to have the limits of the boundaries of the land to be a factor. We're talking about the law within that boundary, okay? Mm-hmm. And we're talking about certain exceptions. And what you guys are doing is you're ignoring what Scott said earlier. There are certain constraints. Those constraints have to do with extremes, which goes to a fundamental issue with you flat earthers, is that you try to argue from an extreme, but you don't acknowledge that it's an extreme. So you try to make the extreme cases apply to all cases.
I agree. I agree. But
they don't, Kimo. They never do.
What she said was extreme. Throw it out. That's going to upset a lot of people. But if that's what
when
we
I
have
say
to
extreme,
do,
I'm not talking about extreme.
that's what we have to do.
Invalid.
If we have to throw it out to move forward with the
being
understanding of science, then that's what we've got to do. Throw it out. Okay, and that is extreme.
You know what, Kimo? If I'm going to interrupt the flow, your flow, I'm all happy for it. If you're going to not acknowledge what I say, then I'll just interrupt your flow. Okay? Don't try to take homograms and multiple meanings.
Well, you're just jumping on Veach's bandwagon about it being extreme.
No, I'm not on anyone's bandwagon. I acknowledge the person when they know what they're talking about.
And it is extreme, and that's the point. That's why
she's the extremity has to do when the law does not apply, not her argument overall.
You're saying
one idea of extremity with another.
You're saying don't throw the baby out. She's saying yes, throw it all out.
No, that's not what he's saying. Kimo, stop this BS.
Jeremy, is that what she's saying or not?
It's not. Let's read it again and let's read her original paper.
Jeremy, what's going on? Clear this up.
She is saying this is a quote.
Mm-hmm.
All the laws of physics, including gravity, be valid everywhere in the universe.
Yeah.
Come to find out.
Hold on, finish, Jeremy. Go on.
Finish the quote. Don't say come to find out. Finish the quote.
End quote. That's the end of the quote.
Go on, finish. What's the second part about throwing it out?
No. Einstein is right, at least for now, she says. We can absolutely rule out Newton's law of
fine.
gravity.
Okay.
Our
Einstein.
observations are consistent with Einstein's general theory of relativity.
We're not arguing about that. We're talking about Newtonian. What did they say about throwing it out, Jeremy?
She said rule out, not throw out.
And she's talking about in relation to gravitational redshift of black holes.
Right.
She's talking about the laws of gravity.
At a black hole.
Come on, man. I like. She's talking about there's a place in the universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at
black hole.
At this place, the law of gravity is not valid.
Right.
Great. We're not at that place.
What does it mean, Jay? What's the meaning of that?
And it's been understood for a long time. It's been understood, Jeremy. It's been
let
understood
him finish, will you? Just fundy mute him. You won't let him finish what he's saying. Just a short sentence.
Kimo, what is your deal today? You are not useful. We used to stop over talking everybody.
Over talking Jeremy. How about you help Jeremy?
You're not helping though. How about you just start and try not helping for a while?
Well, Jeremy's trying to finish a point. Like now, someone's over talking, hasn't responded.
I was literally listening to Jeremy, and then
Listen
you
to
got
what's
trampled
going on.
all over. And then Scott, you just jumped in and you attacked the person who was trying to straighten it up.
Kimo's
I
not
don't
trying to
normally
straighten
like
it up.
Kimo.
You're out of your mind.
Right. So, Jeremy,
okay.
can you finish the quote so they understand what's
I
going
am
on?
a little bit out of my mind, but still.
Understand the quote.
The quote is
Just on that one, please.
there's a place in the
Jeremy,
universe
Sorry.
where Newton's laws aren't valid.
Mm.
She also says that laws of physics and gravity need to be valid everywhere in the universe.
Need to be.
So what does that tell you? What does that tell you?
Well,
It tells
there's
us
a
that we
chance that
confirm that there's no unified theory. That's what it tells
It
us.
tells you that Newton's
No,
law
what
of
it,
gravity
what
is
it
not
doesn't
valid.
tell you that. What it really tells you is maybe there's a lot of matter out there that we don't see.
It tells you
and
Newton's law of
the theory
gravity is
could
not
still be
valid.
right.
That's what you can get from that.
No, I mean, not you don't. I'm just saying maybe. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying so because he's saying there's only one answer, and that's because blah blah blah. And I'm saying, well, maybe there's also maybe the theory is right. At least the speed and rotational velocity is not the cause, but maybe that too. But maybe it's not. But still, even if it's just the speeds and the velocities and stuff that we're looking at, the actual force and the vectors and everything, that's the same. So maybe there's just missing matter that we're not very good at seeing out there, and maybe it's coupled with the electromagnetic fields that also we're not very, very good at seeing until recently. We've been able to
I mean,
start seeing those.
this
much
is
better.
what YouTube should be censoring, right? Made up stuff like this. Okay, when we
Like
have
flat Earth?
we have the facts, the figures, we have the prize winners giving us the information, and that is suppressed.
Wait, what was the bad information that needs to be censored? Can you summarize that, Kimo?
What you guys
You
are
think I need
touting
to
here,
be
you're
suppressed?
denying the
Could
current.
you summarize it, Kimo?
You're denying the
'Cause I
current
got Nobel
science.
Prize winners
That
too,
needs to be
dude.
censored.
Probably more of them.
Kimo, could you summarize it?
I've just said the
If that's what
misinformation.
matters.
No, that's too vague. What specifically was said just now that needs to be?
So the
muted?
current site, you guys are pushing this Newtonian idea, and it doesn't work everywhere.
Okay.
Got to rule it out,
So-
but you're still pushing.
So
it.
it doesn't work everywhere. Wait.
Well,
Can it?
might
Does it
work,
not
because
work
we
here
don't
on
get
Earth?
seeing
I mean,
what
we're on Earth here. Does
we
it not work?
think it's
What does it mean that it doesn't work everywhere? It means we need to
The
throw
law-
it away.
Right, but if it works here on Earth, I'm going to continue using it.
Remember, that was just a theory until we found out it doesn't work everywhere. The theory.
But it works here on Earth.
So normally I think Kimo's like slightly trolling or poing. I really think that he's convinced of this, and it's kind of sad.
Yep.
Well, again,
Kimo,
we've got Jeremy's article, which supports what we're
Don't
saying.
go out or throw out something.
You don't have any.
negative.
All you have is your
evaluation and all
opinion
that, but-
on what you think is going on. Okay, we've got the experts again, the professionals again, supporting
Name
our
a
argument
professional.
again. And
Name
all
a
you're doing is
professional.
just spiraling, saying, "Oh, they don't get it. They don't get it." You know, what's the
Name a
end?
professional for once. Name and cite his paper for the first time. Tell us where we can demonstrate or reproduce his thing for the first time. Please put it into the chat. Thank you.
So we're looking at the
His name is
implications
Nathan Thompson.
of what the scientists are telling
So
us.
again, he doesn't put a name. Again, he
good.
doesn't cite anything into the chat. And again, we can't reproduce the nonsense that he's saying.
But what it means by rule,
And the best part was hearing you sigh. Thank you.
what it means, I can rule out what you're saying because the experts have
Please
guided
try.
us.
What expert?
Well, Kimo can rule out anything he wants. It doesn't make it true.
It
Right.
doesn't matter what we say; it's about what the professionals. Why are you denying
Okay.
like a mechanic fixing your car or something?
A ruler with no empire.
You know, you're questioning
Kimo,
the doctors.
Kimo,
the
now that you
doctor
brought up
does
the
heart
mechanic-
surgery. You're like, oh no, I disagree with the doctor. What are you talking
You brought
about?
up the mechanic. What if my mechanic can't?
Have you been in an airplane before? Would you trust the pilot? What's wrong with you?
What if oh, that's a good one too. What if a pilot isn't trained on a multi-engine airplane? Can they still fly a Cessna just fine and work it just fine and take you there safely?
So you've got astrophysicists
Or
and scientists.
because they can't fly everything, they can't fly anything. Is that what
Well,
you're
if
saying?
I've got a
Because
prize
somebody
pi-
can't fly
well,
everything, they can't fly anything.
Let me tell you. If I've got a
Even
prize,
better. So,
if I've got,
so
if I've
can, the
got
pilot,
a,
can the pilot through the middle of a storm?
if
The
I've
middle
got
of
a
a
prize
hurricane.
pilot,
Oh, he can't go
then
through the middle
obviously
of a
he's got
hurricane.
that
so he can't fly
prize
plane.
for knowledge on piloting, flying. Yeah, we're gonna listen to what he says for sure.
But he can't pilot through a hurricane. He can't go right through the eye of a hurricane.
Yeah,
I've got
that's
some critical
a
news.
normal person telling the professionals they can't do something.
Breaking news, I heard.
Sure.
I've got critical news from Andrea Ghez. I can confirm, she says the Earth is a globe, that stars are real, and we can use spectroscopy, and that's all good. And now she is a scientist, a professional, and I'm sure, according to Kimo's own argument, he should now accept that information from
Don't let
this
him do this to you.
professional.
No.
Well, she has to say that, or she'll get kicked out of the cool club. You know what I mean?
I already told you.
Wait, she just said
Bullshit.
something that would have got her kicked out the cool club. She refuted Einstein to some degree, right? Right, Jeremy?
Don't
Yeah.
come back and try that argument.
That's
Crap
been
that I killed
repeated by
earlier.
other people as well.
Hey, Jeremy, check your DMs, Jeremy.
Alright, hold on.
So, you know, like I say,
we
you've
got
got
the
to start
DMs
recognizing
going.
your own science here, and you've got to work with relativity, Einsteinian, and then obviously we can tackle that in the right way. But everybody has to get on board and not have half Newtonian, half
Well,
Einsteinian.
we don't need to, because the professionals, the scientists, say the Earth is a globe. So we're good.
Which professionals? Where?
Yep, we're all set. Anyone that you cite.
Where?
Then what are we even doing here? If that's the case,
Can
what
I
are
just-
we even doing here, guys?
Can I just point
Question.
something out, guys? I've been listening for this afternoon. I just want to point something out. You know, the way I see it is that the only reason why flat Earth has a problem with our current understanding of gravity is nothing to do with any kind of deficiency in our understanding. The only reason flat Earth has a problem with gravity is because it completely precludes the existence of a flat Earth. So if you got a, you know, the stuff that planets are made of, rock. If you got something that is 200 or 300 miles in diameter, due to its own gravity, it will conform to a sphere.
Yeah.
So
Gravity,
because
if you
of that,
understand it.
because
Gravity,
of that,
you understand it.
Man,
because of that, wait a minute. So the, you know, this is it's kind of a smokescreen that flat earthers trying to poke holes in our understanding of gravity. In actual fact, the only reason that they have a problem with it is because it abolishes the very idea of a flat Earth.
Yeah,
Hey,
gravity.
Jeremy.
If you were able to show gravity, you'd give questions. We'd have to try and figure out what's going on. Yeah, for sure. But you don't have gravity.
But you
so what's
define,
the-
but Kimo, you redefine what gravity means because you keep going back to how it occurs. How?
I mean, hold on, Flat. So, John, I mean,
Sure,
a lot of
sure, take
things.
your time.
If you have evidence for curvature, rotation, gravity, vacuums, any of these things is going to cause an issue for
But we
anyone.
do
who
have evidence. You call it CGI and
thinks the
fish
opposite,
eye.
right? Not just one aspect.
We don't need to, because the professionals, the scientists, tell us that the vacuum is out there and the Earth is a globe. So we're good, aren't we?
Yeah, but you can't be.
You said we had to trust the scientists. I mean, don't I
Why
trust
did
the
you
pilot
interrupt
to
me?
fly my
Why did
plane?
I was trying to respond
Don't I
to
trust
you.
a mechanic to fit
I was
my
trying to
engine?
respond to what you just said.
Oh,
You just
sorry.
interrupted.
Go on.
Gotta trust Kimo to be the Kimo.
Don't let me respond to what you just said. So
No, you're
yeah,
right. I
yeah. So
apologize.
yeah, of course, yeah. We listen to the experts, but Druss, you've got to be able to discern when they're giving their opinion and when
He
they're
sounds
giving
like Mary Poppins.
and when they're giving scientific facts.
So, can you tell me how you determined
Yes.
that Andrea Ghez was giving scientific fact and not her opinion?
Absolutely.
When you don't accept
absolutely.
any of the methodology she used to collect the
Absolutely.
data.
Definitely, that's what we're talking about. So now you're asking more good questions. Now you're on the right path here. So obviously, people have opinions, people have facts. Now, how do they get the facts? They obviously do a bit of science.
No, I'm asking this specific instance, Kimo. You're trying to blur it with Andrea Ghez. I want you to tell me how you know,
Yeah,
because
I
you said
know
it's
for
a
sure,
fact, that is not her opinion and it's science
Yeah, of
fact.
course,
When
of
you
course.
don't accept her methodology of how she got the data.
Of course. Like I said, if anyone makes a claim of knowledge, they had know something. There's only one way you can know this, Druss. There's only one way. That's obviously.
No, I'm not asking how I know something. I'm asking how you know that this is a fact that she is presenting. And again, you're equivocating away from the specific question and trying to move to a general point. I would like you to address the specific question. Do you understand that?
Absolutely, I'm answering for you.
You're not. You're being general.
No,
Andrea
again,
Ghez, tell me how you know that she is giving you science fact and not her opinion.
Exactly, right. So when someone gives their opinion, what they think.
Andrea Ghez?
Yeah, Andrea. Anyone. So,
No, we're talking specifically about how you know.
Yeah. It doesn't matter who they are.
No, it does, because you're talking about a specific case, and I want to know how you know that this is science fact from her and not fiction, because you
This
said
is the
that
point,
we
though.
had to
I'm trying to show to you that everyone can have an opinion. Doesn't matter who they are.
No, I
doesn't
want
matter
to
what
know
they
how
claim.
you know the specific case, Kimo, not the general case, this specific one. How did you determine that she, specifically, was giving you fact and not her opinion?
Because we have a method to determine whether anyone, her in particular, is telling the truth through a process. It's called science.
Still describing it, not telling me how.
Well, what's her claim? You haven't told me the claim.
Well, you
don't know.
oh my
You're the
god!
one to use her claim. God, Kimo.
Oh my god, Kimo. You are so fucking sad. You're the one that's saying that she's talking a fact. You're the one that's talking about her claim.
Yeah.
And then you're asking me what it is?
Yeah, because
We're back to
You're the one
Palestine.
that's presenting it as fact, not me. You should know her fucking claim, not me.
Back to being a Poe.
Stop repeating
Kimo, do
yourself.
you even know what
Chris.
you're saying? Honestly, do you know what you're saying?
Slippery slope to dementia here. Stop repeating yourself. Okay. So you said an array of things that she believes. Okay. And I said you've got to check that she's not giving her opinion versus the scientific fact. Yeah?
Did you read her paper, Kimo?
If you
Wait one
find
second, Flattened. You said that what she was saying was a science fact and not an opinion. So I'm asking how you've made that determination in this specific case to do with her comments on gravity. Can you stick to the point and stop trying to move away from it?
Because when she's tried to test mass attracted mass, realised that's not a thing. She can't test
That wasn't
it.
the test, Kimo.
Sorry,
Kimo, that wasn't the test.
How did she test that? What experiment did she do?
You
We're gonna
can't.
go into details here, Kimo.
There is no experiment she can do.
So she didn't do the experiment.
She didn't
then.
do
So
the
why
experiment.
did you say she did it?
She didn't. No, she didn't do it. That's what. So her opinion. That's the point.
So what experiment? So you're just saying, okay, so great, we can ignore it now. She's not speaking as a professional. She's just giving us her opinion, so we can discard her comment and move on.
Right, exactly. We can
Whatever
throw it out.
black hole experiment, whatever black hole.
So can we drop Andrea Guess and move on to another topic?
No.
Yes.
No, whatever black hole.
No. We're talking about.
Oh, you want to keep talking about Andrea's opinion? Okay, go ahead, Kimo. More
we're talking
about her opinion.
science. We're talking about science. We're talking about experiments. We're talking about forces.
No, we're talking about opinions, and we're talking
we have
about
opinions
more
also.
opinions.
People have opinions, and again,
Right.
you won't know.
You refer to opinions, and we don't.
Did Gez doing a black hole experiment, or was that not an experiment?
According to Kimo, she did not do an experiment.
No, she was doing an experiment according to you guys.
Think
Oh, Kimo just contradicted himself.
you guys think she did an experiment?
Yeah, she would have formed a hypothesis, right? That's how you do experiments.
But she didn't. But you're saying she didn't do that.
Whatever she did, she won the Nobel.
No, but
Prize.
hold on, Jeremy. What I'm trying to say is there is your version of an experiment where you just form a hypothesis. That's all you do. You don't have an observed phenomenon.
That wasn't it. False.
So she would have just observed the black hole.
Why do you try to dictate what other people do?
She would have observed. She would have said. She would have said no. She didn't observe a black hole. She would have said there are black holes, and this is how gravity would have worked or not in a black hole.
Her paper, Kimo?
This is how the numbers would have.
Paper.
Stop over talking to me, flattened.
Paper.
Stop over talking me.
Well, stop wasting our time.
I'm trying to explain. You asked me a question and then overtalk me.
You're making falsehoods in your explanation.
It doesn't matter. You asked me a question.
Well, okay, go ahead. I'm
it
sorry.
doesn't matter.
Everyone, he's making falsehoods. Please continue.
Yeah, you can correct me when I've finished, right? If there's anything to be corrected.
Okay, it's 2:08, so at like 2:15. I'll
anyway, we can talk about this reckless ban. It looks like everyone's happy about that. Jeremy, go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, be it an experiment or not, whatever she did, she won the Nobel Prize in physics, bro. So they have to go with what this lady says. This is their higher up. This is the
way
top.
to the prize.
Well, Jeremy, their version of experiments differ to how we would do it. So we have to.
What do you get your Nobel Prize, Jeremy, for debunking news?
But all she's done is the mathematics say that their gravity wouldn't work in this area. So it mustn't work everywhere else.
She's won the Nobel Prize. She's won the Nobel Prize, as Jeremy correctly stated, and she believes the Earth is a globe.
That's her opinion, but that's just mathematics. What she's won the prize.
We can rule out all the other people that won a Nobel Prize for all the other things that you guys don't believe in.
Hold on,
Let's
John.
go.
But Kimo, it wasn't just mathematics. That's why I keep asking if you looked at her paper and you didn't.
Well, what did she do? That was
Years of
practical.
observation.
No, Kimo, you look at it yourself.
No, you don't know what you're talking about, Flan. Stop interrupting to derail.
I am Kimo. It wasn't just mathematics.
What did she do then?
Look it up yourself.
Well, stop talking nonsense.
I put the link on here twice.
Stop the conversation. What did she do? I'm not going to tell you. It's a big
No,
secret.
I'm not because every time I tell you something, you're going to dismiss or try to rebuke what I say, so you can read it yourself.
No. Again, either show what she did.
You're done, Kimo. You're done.
Show what she did, or stop
You're
the
done. I already did. You're the only person that didn't read it. Even Jeremy read it. Jeremy, you read the paper, right?
So look, all she's done is win the prize for the mathematics, the numbers, the calculations, check out, and that's she's got a model.
You know what she won for?
Hold on. The paper is irrelevant. My whole
now the paper is irrelevant.
My whole argument is based on her quotes.
Okay, that's a superficial argument then. Okay, you take a quote. So what?
What was the experiment?
That's like that guy. That's like that German guy that was a Nazi. First, you guys say that he's a bad example, and that's why NASA is so terrible.
This is not
but then the guy dies, and you put something
moaning
on his gravestone, and you cite him as a good example to debunk it's just retarded.
Called a hostile witness.
I'm only doing a light amount of research. The Nobel Prize in Physics in 2020, Andrea Gay's got a quarter of that share of that prize. And the person who got a half, he's the one who discovered the black hole formation is a robust prediction for general theory of relativity.
Good.
You know what Andrea got a quarter for? For discovering a supermassive compact object at the center of our galaxy.
Wow.
So if you're going to claim her Nobel Prize, you need to apply it to where it applies. She didn't get a Nobel Prize.
She's
for
a winner.
calculations
She's
and
a
shit.
winner. We're saying she's a winner.
Right. But for a specific subject, a specific thing
She's a
within
winner.
all of it.
And
This is
how
the
did?
same
and-
argument.
Yeah, what did she win it for? Come on.
Kimo, this is the
But-
same
He
but-
just
argument.
told you what she won it for.
Yeah, you've got to understand,
Kimo,
Biojules,
this-
that
discovering
they do
something in the
experiments different
galaxy.
to us because for them details
What is
don't
wrong with
matter.
your baller's ear?
Accuracy doesn't matter.
It's so funny.
It
Just
is.
because she
Kimo.
won in physics doesn't mean what you're claiming that she did.
I said
did
that
happen.
to you.
What
I
you're
said it's
claiming
her
that she
opinion.
did,
Get a
it didn't
bunch of
happen.
liars
I did
Did
say
not
to you.
happen.
Prize.
I did say
So
to you
it's
it's
like
her
a
opinion.
total
Argument
Yes.
they've been making all day. Hold on, this is the same argument they've been making all day, that since you believe her on this and she believes the Earth's a sphere, then the Earth's a sphere. So
Right.
game
No,
over,
it's
I
the
guess.
fact that you're taking her quote and
Right.
you're taking it out of context.
No,
It's the
again,
same thing you guys
that's
do with the
literally
Bible.
argument. What I just described was the argument they're just making.
No, that was not the argument. She was speaking about black holes. Are we in a black hole? No. So
No,
it
we're in
doesn't-
the universe where all the laws should apply everywhere.
right,
Why?
right, and they don't
Why?
apply in a black hole.
No. Why?
Yeah.
Why should they apply everywhere? Why should they?
Because it's to law.
No.
law
There's a
doesn't
difference
apply
between
to
a law and a unified theory of something. Why should they apply everywhere?
Well, why wouldn't they work everywhere?
Apply everywhere in the universe.
Because it's not unified. All right, I'll give you this.
Apply
What's
everywhere
different?
in the-
If hold on,
There are other forces involved.
if
you
nu-
guys
if-
aren't understanding,
listen,
Kimo.
if Newtonian gravity was a unified theory of physics, or a
We got a
unified
lot
theory
of
of gravity,
goalies
or if there's a
today.
unified theory in the universe, if it was unified, and then this information came up, you win.
All right, give
Awesome.
an example.
But you're not giving us any new information.
All right, sure.
This is
Let's
all
move forward.
everything
You
we
just
knew.
moan. Give an example of what happens in the black hole that doesn't happen here. What did
It's
she
a
mean?
black hole, bro.
Light can't escape. Can
So
you
why would we
you
travel
capture
out to
light on
space
Earth?
if it's not unified?
Ah, chemo.
So that's
Think
what
about going out to
that's
space
what
and all of a sudden.
that's what the equations say. Yeah.
Chemo. Where do you post the links to this? You do these presentations almost by clockwork. What website do you post this stuff on?
He only has pictures. He doesn't have links.
Lots of what?
Jesus Christ! I mean, you're not making money doing this. You certainly ain't getting people coming up to you every other day going, "Oh, gee, chemo, I didn't know." And then you really got them in Discord, and now I see. No, I mean, what do you do?
It's not about me, Flatten. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
It ain't
That's
about
right. I
the
didn't
money
think
or the
so.
fame or the fortune.
Yeah, it's
alright?
about the attention and the desperation.
It's about the truth. It's about the truth.
Okay, well then the
Everyone
truth is you
makes
can't
words,
dismiss a law of physics because it doesn't work in certain extreme circumstances. There, we're done.
I knows it's about the FE women.
Kosha, you've really got to sort this out. This women. You know, I mean, they were talking about Stacy today and how, you know.
Oh yeah, man, that was great.
I know, yeah.
You
But
missed
Kosho,
try and control yourself a little
chemo
bit.
without women is where he's going. The
Control
first
yourself.
two
Control yourself.
letters of
Okay. You know, you're being manipulated. Get yourself a good woman, settle down, and yeah, do the right thing. All right.
I'm gonna start Flat Earth Ranch, and I'm gonna have a bunch of Flat Earth wives.
Chasing the women is gonna get you nowhere, Kosher. Right.
Chemo, how many flat Earth women are there in your little circle?
It's not about
One?
me. Not about me.
I didn't think so.
I can think of
Chemo at the Flat Earth the Globe Light Tour.
Yeah.
There's like this there's just like this single mom that he was talking to for like 45 minutes.
No, it wasn't that long, Kosher. She wouldn't go. I mean, I was like, okay, you know, 'cause like I said, not that I wanted to go, but I mean, she was dead interested in it. And she kept asking more. She was like, what am I going to do with the kids now then? So should I take them to school? Should we get them to still tell them, you know, what should... I was like, well, you know, I think you get together with your friends. I can't really tell you to take them out of school, but just get together with your friends and then just decide.
She looked interested though. She looked like she was interested in the flat Earth.
Yeah, I mean, again, she was paying a lot of attention, and like I said, she took a lot of the time. But yeah, she was curious, just like everyone who realizes that the Earth's not a globe. They want to know more. They want more. They're so thirsty for more. Give me more. And we try and provide more, but we can only give them so much. Yes, because we only have so much.
You can't give them anything, Chemo.
But she was absorbed with the
At some point
information.
you
Yeah, for
drain.
sure.
They're not
The
interested
truth,
in your
the truth
bullshit,
is
Chemo.
addicting.
With a Scouser accent, she was like, I can't believe it. They've lied to us. But yeah, I was just like, the kids. She was like, she's asking me what to do with the kids. Like, it's not my kids, but I was like, look, just tell them the truth. But I didn't want to. I mean, it's difficult to tell because again, she's going to get ridiculed if the kids are like flat earthers in school. Then they might get mocked and bullied. We don't want that. We want the kids to grow
As
up
they
in-
should.
And they shouldn't. That's what I mean. We want the kids to grow up in a normal environment where they're happy and healthy.
What an asshole.
Oh no, yeah,
was
they
really
should mock
messed
them.
up
That's
by
terrible. That's terrible. So I was caught in
Yeah,
two
but
minds.
you-
Like, I wanted to
It's
be
child
like,
abuse to teach
I wanted
the
to be like
next,
dead militant and be
flat
like,
earth.
yeah, just take them
Child
out of
abuse.
school. But
This
gotta do the
guy's a
right thing. Gotta do the
proponent
right
of
thing. The
bullying.
right thing is to say,
Advocated and supported child abuse.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I
you're
said flat
a
Earth.
proponent.
Teaching flat Earth to kids is child abuse. That's what
No,
I said.
you're a proponent for child bullying.
No, I agree.
He literally just said he's okay with kids getting bullied.
Like
It's
child
terrible.
abuse. Like,
I mean, at
is
the end of the
good
day,
for
it depends on the kid, right?
That's terrible.
If it's Kimo or Jeremy.
And teaching kids flat Earth is child abuse. So
Well,
you
there was
can,
a- there was a-
you
I
can-
think she
you
was-
can put your stake down on the morals that you believe in.
there was a kid. There was a kid with her grandma, so I didn't even realize she was listening. So I was talking to this group of people, like, you know, they were like college students, like, you know, 17, 18, 19, whatever. And then there was just one little girl with her grandma just standing there, just listening. And I've turned and, like, as I finished, I was like, oh, you know, and I said to her, look, did you hear what was being said? And she was like, some of it, yeah. And I said, make sure you tell your teacher, ask them about how do you have the gas pressure about the container? And I made her say it. But she was nodding her head, she was nodding, and I was going, she was like nodding. I was like, repeat
I think
what
I
I've just
remember
said.
that, dude.
I was like, repeat what
Yeah,
I've
you're
just said.
most
Yeah.
advanced and critical thinker, that little girl, definitely.
So she said,
that on the
gas
video?
pressure without a
I'd love to
container.
know what happened to her now. That'd be, I mean, like, obviously when they, like what happened? Did she tell her teacher? Did she change her life? You know, things like that would have been interesting to find out. She'll probably try and find us in when she's older. Like, I remember these people. They came out and told us because it will affect
Like a magical
younger
moment for
people
her.
more. You know.
You know what's funny though?
Make for some good TV, that's for sure.
There's not really a retention for like the young flat earthers. Like there's flat earthers, like there's a 12-year-old in 24/7, and there's Soda. She's not a real flat earther, but there's young people who are interested in it, but the retention rate is not very high for young people.
Yeah, you're probably right. But I mean, it's half and half. I mean, it depends on the parents. So you can tell with the children that are dead wild and, you know, eccentric and excessive. To me, I see the parents. Yeah, so they don't listen, they don't concentrate. And obviously the young people that are like interested, obviously they're coming from an area or a place where, you know, they can look at these things in a different way. So yeah, it's different, Kosho, different kids, different.
Because it's boring and there's nothing new in Flat Earth after a month. You know it all after a month.
Man, go back to abusing children.
I just brought you a new argument.
I know,
that
they're
we've
so
been talking
terrible.
About for all morning.
Because I was
So I don't know what you're
concerned,
talking
like, sorry, go ahead, Jeremy.
Well, he said there's nothing new. I just brought a new I've never heard this argument I brought to him today with Andrea Ghez.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was superb.
You literally heard a new argument today.
That was great.
Thank you.
But there's no new argument. I mean, this is the argument you've had all along.
Last week I
Not the
had a
same
new
as,
argument about full cult.
Actually,
And whoever says I don't bring my own arguments, you know, that's not even true. You're just liars now.
some people are liars. But I said this morning, but really I'm gonna change it to you inspiring me. But I'm thinking about till the end of Hanukkah, I'm gonna really feel what it feels like to be a flat earther. I'm gonna put myself in the body of a
All you
flat
gotta
earther.
do, Kosho,
Oh my god.
What you gotta do,
you
Coach,
wanna
again,
subject-
just go out yourself and try to prove the globe yourself. So actually go and try and prove curvature, try and prove rotation. You know, and what you'll find, well, I can't do that. I cannot prove things that we were told. Huh?
Hanukkah is about a miracle that lasts, several days. But I think if I went and did that, I wouldn't last very long as a flat earther. So I'm probably not gonna try that. But I am gonna
Because I think for you like to be because like I've heard obviously when you're arguing for the ball Earth, yeah, there's a lot of technical side to it, okay, and you can give like a full explanation. But with the flat Earth, you can't do that. You won't be able to go into the detail because you've heard us get asked, well, what's the deeper explanation, right? And you're like, well, I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to go with what I've been told and just tell people that basically.
Yeah, Kosho, why do you keep saying Hanukkah? What is Hanukkah?
That's a Jewish thing, right?
Festival of Lights.
What
No,
is
yeah,
that?
dude.
What's
There's
Hanukkah?
these dudes. Yeah, they were hiding in a cave from the Maccabees, right? And they had a little bit of weed, enough for one
Oh,
night.
they weren't the Maccabees. They were the Maccabees.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Danny knows what he's talking about. They had a little bit of weed left, enough for one night. And
One joint. They only
Yeah,
could
exactly.
keep people high.
One joint. It was supposed to last one night, but they thought they'd be
Yeah,
in there
but,
for
I
a
mean,
long time.
Not
And they ended up. It lasted 8 days.
They were hammered. They were baked for 8
What?
days.
Wait, what? What about a joint lasting 8 days? What?
No. It was a candle. It was the oil from the candle, and it was supposed to last one night, and it miraculously lasted 8 nights.
Oh, okay. Fuck, you caught me right waking up. I was like, what is this magical joint?
They must have used olive oil.
Okay, I can feel the socializing coming back. We need to focus on the biggest lie that we've ever been told.
What, that the Earth is
Biggest lie.
flat?
Now, the biggest lie is that the Earth is a globe. You keep forgetting this. This is very
The
important.
biggest lie is that it's flat?
Why is it important? Don't let the gatekeepers, the shields, the agents distract you from the truth. Yes, or blind you from what's going on. Now they're very slippery, sneaky. They'll try and divert, the conversation. We've got to stay focused. That's how they've got us in the first place, with distractions. Yeah.
Don't let chemo distract you from what just happened with that citation.
Well, here's
that
a
just
light
happened.
worker. Sounds like it. You're trying to distract, are you? I mean, we're talking about the big lie. And you're saying it's not a lie. That would mean you know the truth. That would mean you have evidence to support your claim. That would mean it's not just a belief where someone just told you. Huh?
Yeah, I have a barometer. I'm okay.
Distracted from reality. Definitely. That's what we need.
Like Kimo, you once called me one of the gatekeepers of the truth, which is a badge of honor as far as I'm concerned. You know that song that you guys did, and the hook is what was it? Why would they lie?
Oh yes,
Why do we lie?
Yes, you heard it.
So-
Wow, fantastic, good stuff.
Yeah, I did. It's shite.
Oh, okay, thank you very much.
But what's the is it a rhetorical question? What's the answer to that question?
Well, I kicked off with globe abortion, all applauding, and it was like cheers, big heads, small, enormous, and then I've said something like
foreskin.
Yeah, I said something like from cradle to grave, you shall like a shell. So you'll move. Basically, you'll learn like a tortoise. Your life is like slowly moving forward from cradle to grave. What did I say? I can't remember. But basically, yeah.
Just a foreskin and.
Oh yeah. So like you're watching the NASA stream. The NASA tower lies every day. It can be exhausting, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm watching the stream. That looks real. I'm like, that's not a ball. Gosh, yeah.
Well, you're not answering the. You're not answering the question, Kimo. Why? What's the answer to that question? Why would they lie?
I said in my verse.
What's the answer to that
I
question?
gave my answer was obviously a creator. Other people said different reasons. Like for example, Witzer said, "Why would they lie? Why would they not?" Yes, why would they?
Why
not?
would they not?
Why would they not?
Give us the reasons.
Kimo,
that doesn't answer anything.
Witzit's is the worst answer, man.
No, Witzer was great.
Why would they lie?
Man.
Why would they
when
not?
you listen to it, it's really good stuff. Good stuff.
But that's fuck all.
Why
What's
would they
the
not?
What's the answer to the question? Why would they lie? What's
Why
the
would they
reason?
lie? Yes.
What
Why
is
would
the
they lie?
reason?
Yes, I've just said to you, I think they would lie because they're hiding the creator. Now, like I said, some people.
Information is power, and if you have
Well, that in itself
no one
is.
else has. Not only do they
That
not
in
have it,
its-
but they think the total opposite. That's a lot of power right there.
They're hiding a very weak creator, apparently.
Well, yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I mean, fuck me, you've got an all-powerful deity, and he's apparently unable to stop a bunch of primates from subverting the truth of his existence.
I think
He
about.
makes a pretty good snow globe.
I think things like let's say someone decided to destroy the entire world today, like everything, every person and the whole earth, if they could. Would God intervene? And I think that's when God would intervene if it was needed. I think right now
we are destroying the world.
Yeah, but no one can do it just like that, where every person is annihilated overnight. Yeah. So I think if God saw in someone's heart that they were planning to destroy every person overnight, like literally overnight,
then I
Like
think he would
redirect a
step
meteor
in. He
to
would
Earth
step
or
in. Yeah,
something.
he would step in. But right now, I don't need to step in right now because the plan has been set. You know, and but, you know, it's going to be. There's a course going on, so there's a path that we have to follow. So yeah, so I don't think God would intervene at all right now. No need.
Do you appreciate that? You know, to someone like me, that sounds like a load of shite.
It might do, yeah, but again, do your research. You've got to look into these things, right? You've got to ask the question and do a bit of research. And you got to. It depends who you're asking. So if you're looking at the media and your system, they're going to lie to you. They've got no interest in telling you the truth. These things are from the ground, information like that, because when they find out things, they suppress it.
Yeah, but doing research in that field is just kind of feeling and sensing that that perhaps you know if I was religious, that I have
you are religious,
you know,
but
that
in a
I have
different way,
I have a some kind of personal relationship with a deity, and it's just bollocks.
You call it Helios, the sun.
And
that's your religion. So you can have a religion without even realizing you have a religion, right?
Deep.
No, this is worship. You know, this is
We're actually
this is
worshipping
old,
the sun.
This is old ground. You know, this statement that flat earthers and creationists make. That,
I just check. You're not drunk. You're not drunk,
that
are
we're,
you, John?
That we're
John, you're not drunk, are you?
not yet.
Not yet.
But this claim that you make that we're part of a religion.
Yeah.
It's just nonsense.
Well, I mean, again, it's just like you have a belief. You have a strong belief in this idea. Yes, it's not something that you can practically demonstrate or prove. Pretty much like
no, it's not.
It's pretty
yes,
much.
we can.
It's pretty much.
It's not a belief.
John,
ask Kimo to prove that people worship the sun.
John, it's pretty much it's similar to a religion. So you might not be a religion, but it's very, very similar in the things that you do.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's not a belief.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got. I mean, you have to have faith.
Yeah.
In order to have religion, don't you?
Okay.
I mean, it's one of the fundamentals of religion. If it was absolutely certain that God was real, then religion, as we know it, would cease to be.
Why?
You know, the whole thing about religion is you have to make that leap of faith, because there isn't actually any physical evidence whatsoever of the existence of God. So you have to have faith without reason.
Yeah. Well,
now,
I mean, look, hold on. Well, let me respond quickly. Hold on there, John.
Hang on.
Okay, John,
Hang on.
it's a
Wait,
this is
just-
what I'm talking
just wait
about.
a-
Your
wait a
religion.
second.
You're just preaching to me now. This is I can't even respond.
Wait a second.
All right, go on.
Yeah, just wait a second.
All right, go on.
Won't take long. So science is based on faith with reason.
Okay.
And religion is based on faith without reason. There's a huge difference there.
Yeah. I mean, I know you say that, yes, but again, we have to test these things. When we put it to the test, when we test you in particular, or any baller in particular, what we find is that what you have a very close ideology as religion. So, for example, if I say to demonstrate something, well, you'll say, well, somebody somewhere has told me that they've done it, it's true, therefore I believe it. Now, we could say, like religious people could say the same thing, we could say, well, there are thousands of churches, millions of churches, thousands and millions of religious people. It's been around forever. There's never been a time when there hasn't been religion or spirituality. So that is a good enough reason that's a justified reason to go with the religious idea. Same thing as what you're saying here. You've got years of ideas. You can't do anything to prove it, but you just believe somebody else.
But that's not true, though, is it?
Yes, that is true, because if I were to ask you, if I said, look, I can walk on water, you would say, no, you can't. I would say, yes, I can. You would say, well, okay, prove it, show me, demonstrate how you did it, what you did, da-da-da-da-da-da. So I'd say, okay, I can't. You would say, that's a false claim. I'd say, okay, fine. So then we get to you. You say, well, I can prove, I don't know, rotation, curvature, vacuums without container, all these relevant things.
then I would say prove it. You would say I can't. So then where do we go from there once you can't?
No, we wouldn't.
No, but particularly, Kimo, particularly with regarding astronomy.
Yeah.
I don't have to rely on the information provided from other people. It's something I can actually do myself.
Okay.
It doesn't require me to believe information handed to me from someone else.
Yeah, but
So
we're very specific on certain things. So, like I say, the Earth is meant to have curvature. So, on that question, that's all we're interested in. Does the water curve around the exterior of the object? That's it. So, if you're saying yes, you need to get busy and show and demonstrate how the water would conform around the exterior of an object. Very simple stuff.
We wouldn't have to demonstrate it under your terms.
Very simple stuff. We're very simple people. Okay, we keep it easy for you. It's not very difficult. It's not a test. If you have a simple claim, easy. Water around a board, not hard. Show that can happen in reality, right?
Wait, water around a ball is really not something I really give a fuck about. But I mean, from my position, I mean, I can single-handedly, for instance, triangulate the distance to the moon, and in doing so, can also prove that the Earth must be on a oblate spheroid as well.
No, again, I'm not. That's something. See what you've just said. You said I don't give, a about this. You don't, and that's my point about how it's a religious idea. Now, obviously, in science, you're supposed to address every single point. Now, in religion, I can't do that. I can't tell you how Jesus walked on water. Yes, I can't tell you how he was raised from the dead, through the power of God. But I can't tell you the mechanism behind all. I can say, I don't care about that. You don't understand it, right? All I know is that Jesus walked on water. Now, that's what you're saying.
Didn't.
That's what you're saying to me, essentially. But I'm asking you.
Kimo.
No, okay.
Kimo, one of my friends is an Episcopal minister.
Okay.
And he actually said to me once, I don't believe in the miracles, and I don't expect my congregation to leave their brains at the door when they come into church.
Okay.
A minister.
Okay, fair enough. Again, I'm not arguing about opinions or faith. Again, you're missing the point here. You're lacking here, John. Lacking. Because I'm not arguing for that. I'm saying...
Yes, you are.
Your position is the same as the religious one. If I say to you, Jesus walked on water...
No, it's not.
You'll say, he didn't do that. That didn't happen. That's not possible. You can't prove it. So I'm saying to you, any claim you make...
But you have nothing to back up your claim, Kimo.
Exactly.
And you just put a straw man directly on science.
That's my point.
Nobody called you out for it, which was
religious.
No, Kimo, you have nothing to back up your claim.
Exactly. I agree. I've just been saying that. I can't.
We do.
I can't prove that claim. Now, you, on the other hand,
everything that we know about physics says that that's what should happen.
Right, exactly.
Nothing about over and over again. Fucking reality says
this is why we've got to do this every single day, because you guys are hard of learning, hard of hearing. Every day we've got to do this, all day, every day. Okay? Because like we're saying, every day, all day. You guys are saying that you have the facts, evidence.
How far in school did you get, Kimo?
Not about me.
Mm-hmm.
Not about
me. Hard of learning. You must have gone further in school than all of us, right?
Well, he went all day.
Not about me. You don't. It's not about me. Let's not get into that.
Oh, okay. So you lied
all day, every day, dude. Don't worry about it.
Man, yes, it is. You lied as much as Kosho, Kimo.
No. I didn't say I will do it all day, every day. I'm saying that we do it. Flat Earthers will do this. Ask this question all day, every day.
Did you just call Kosho a liar, though?
Oh yeah, I call him a liar all the time.
You don't believe he's an Eskimo?
Do you?
Let's not pick on Kosho now.
Of course I do. Why wouldn't I?
You've
never met Eskimos? They sound just like this.
Me and VD are Eskimo cousins.
So, John, like I said,
sorry.
Your idea is somewhat could be considered a religious idea, because you believe, you have faith in what you're saying. Say, I believe this happened. You're not able to demonstrate what happened, and therefore there is no difference between someone who believes.
Yes, there is.
There is a huge gulf
Go on, I'm listening.
between
I'm listening.
between religious faith and faith in science. As I've just said, I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many times you say it. There is a huge difference between faith with reason, as in faith that science is correct, and faith without reason, which is the religious take on it. I mean, like I said, I mean, if God was real, if it was absolutely tangible, definite that God was real, religion as we know it would cease to exist, and everybody would be religious.
No, they wouldn't.
As we know, Kimo, as we know, there is no evidence for or against the existence of God.
No,
so
look, let me respond a little bit, because people do know about God and they make a choice. They either deny God or go to other gods. Yeah, they choose.
There's no tangible evidence of God.
So you've got the actual creator who created the place, and then you've got creations within that which are like other gods, like angels and stuff. And then the people will look to those other angels as a god, right?
It's not you have no proof that those angels existed.
I mean, there's
no
historical
tangible evidence.
There's only historical
tangible
proof.
Evidence in science.
I hear what you're saying. There's historical proof.
Wait a minute.
We've
Can
got
I
it.
ask for
There's written
laws of
accounts of these things. Now, whether you believe them or not is the
Written
same.
account isn't tangible evidence.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's the same as what you guys are in that position right now. You have written accounts of your science, but no tangible, practical, repeatable evidence.
Thousands of people around the world test the ideas in science every single day.
But again, I can meet you. I can meet you halfway with that. If this was poker, I could I don't know what they call it, but I can meet you somewhere and say, well, there are millions of religious people around the world who do miracles. You see, that's what I'm saying about your
You call him.
So look, all I'm trying to do is highlight. It's not even like an argument. We're just highlighting to John that his idea is very similar to the religious idea.
No, it's not.
Okay, what's
there's nothing.
What's the difference?
There is nothing. Mm-hmm. There is nothing to highlight. There's nothing to highlight about my position in order to say that.
Drunk.
It's just rhetoric. You just.
No, I hear what you're saying. So let's try and let's put it to the test.
Over again.
So let's put it to the test. Let's test it out. Jesus walked on water. Can't test that. Your claim is the Earth is curving. Can you test that?
Yes, I'll post evidence.
Evidence of
oh yeah,
what's
tested in many ways.
Let's have a look at evidence of Earth curving then.
So, Kimo, there is absolutely no way whatsoever to evidence Jesus walking on water, is there? Nothing. Absolutely
only the
nothing.
witnesses. The
Yes,
witnesses.
there is.
Only the
Hold
witnesses.
on.
Only,
Yes,
the,
there is.
only the witnesses.
No, for fuck's sake.
Yes. It's historical evidence. It's not scientific, it's historical. And?
Historical, yes.
Well,
They've got written accounts of
that
it.
Is I mean, the accounts of Bronze Age people, a couple of thousand years in the past, saying
do you believe
that somebody walked on water.
It's a good question, John. Stop waffling.
It's a handful of nothing.
John,
it's a handful
listen
of
to what
nothing
Paul's
at
saying.
all.
Listen to what Paul's saying.
Do you believe Alexander the Great existed or Caesar Augustus existed?
Do I believe?
Good one,
that,
Paul. You've got him.
Do you believe Alexander the Great or Caesar Augustus existed? Do you believe they existed? Or Aristotle?
Well, there are multiple historical accounts of the existence of those people. Oh, that's really funny.
Yeah. There's thousands of manuscripts of the New Testament writings and documents.
Right.
There's more
there's thousands of
there's more
thousands.
John, you're being rude now. I
There's-
asked you if you were drunk earlier on. Come on.
What? And
have a conversation.
What?
Paul's asking you something here.
Right.
Okay.
I said there's more historical documents for the existence of Jesus than there is for Alexander the Great or Caesar Augustus.
What? That's one of the craziest things I've heard in my life.
We weren't talking about the existence of Jesus. We were talking about whether or not miracles actually happened.
Well, there's evidence. We talked about there's accounts of people that wrote it down saying that these things happened.
Yeah, but you're we can talk about whether or not Jesus existed, and perhaps there is historical evidence that a man called Jesus existed, but what we were actually talking about was whether or not the miracles happened, and the evidence for that is extremely flimsy.
Okay, what evidence would you require for a miracle?
Kimo wants a 12-hour video of a flight, so apparently we need a 12-hour video of a miracle.
I'm asking. Well, the guy's talking about for a miracle. I'm asking him what his evidence would he require.
What Kimo standard?
I'm not talking about Kimo. I came in the middle of this conversation. I heard you guys talking about Jesus, and I'm asking what evidence would you require for a miracle?
To be specific, I mean, for it not to have occurred 2,000 years ago, and only be spoken about in one religious text, which has it's not even known who the actual authors are of the Bible.
What's your basis for that? What's your basis for that statement?
Look, we both know that.
What's your basis for that statement? You must have done research. You must have done study to be able to make that claim. So, what's your evidence?
We don't need a study for that. The Q source and the L source and the M source are all well understood.
What? Okay, well, explain what those are.
It's the stories, the documentation, the area from which all the materials were pulled that created this from different fragments from early church fathers and letters.
So, what is the Q document? What is that?
The Q document is actually one that I don't know much about. Couldn't tell you.
Okay, well, you made the claim about it. So, what is the Q document?
Told you I don't have much information on it. It's not a single document. It's also not a document. It's also not a document. It's a collection of works.
So, do you have evidence of these collection of works?
Yeah, it's a quick Google search away for you.
Okay, good. So you have the actual Q documents or the source material for all the gospel writings.
For all of them, no. There's lots of things that are still unknown.
So you're making a claim with no evidence at this point.
Who said there was no evidence?
Just derailing Brian
and Alexander the Great.
Look, we were nailing John down here, and Brian's just thought he'd save him here. So, John, you made a claim.
Those are two of the most consequential people in history. Like,
what can you give me? How many sources we have? How many documented sources we have of Alexander the Great and Caesar Augustus? Can you show me the documents and how many original documents and how close we have to the source material for those documents? Can you show those to me, please?
Would it not matter the number of cities that are named after him and the places he's conquered?
Would it not matter that they didn't really use documents back then?
Well, I said there's got to be source documents for.
Yeah, they used paper back then, and they made documents back then.
And Julius Caesar, again, was a guy who conquered a lot of the world, and then.
Okay, you're making a claim. You're making a claim. I'm asking for the source documents, and how many source documents are there?
The same person who wrote about this, whatever his name is, Josephus, I forget what his name is, but he also wrote about Julius Caesar. I think he was
Josephus.
Yeah, Josephus.
Okay, how many source documents? How many source documents are there for that?
Don't forget about Shakespeare. He wrote a whole play. Must have been real.
How many would you like?
I'm just telling you. I'm asking you how many there is.
assume hundreds,
And what are
but
they?
I'll go ahead and find out.
Hundreds? So there's
Yeah.
hundreds.
Easily.
So if I say there's thousands, if I say there's thousands for Jesus, which would have more credibility?
Say now there's tens of thousands for these two. That's what I'd say.
Oh, there's tens of thousands. Can you please show that for me?
We all know
Thousand-
Coach is a
I'm-
liar, so if you fall for that, you're just gullible.
I'll bite.
John,
What
you
thousands
can
of
say-
Jesus are you talking about?
Yeah, you can't even name five.
Even Bart Ehrman.
Record just like
Even
barely
Bart
two.
Ehrman.
He's referring to
He's referring
to all the different manuscript fragments of the Bible that have been found, and he's claiming
It counts
that
because
that
the guy who wrote most of the Bible never even met him.
Really? What's your proof of
What
that?
was the year that the Bible was written?
What?
Paul? He doesn't claim to have no.
What's your proof of?
Wait, Rags, do you think there are people who
What do you
met
mean, wait?
Jesus
I mean,
who
there's
wrote the
three different
Bible?
questions on the table, Scott. What are we waiting for? How many questions is he
Why
going
are
to
we
answer?
talking about the Bible?
I don't know.
I've asked for. I said there's historical documents for Jesus. There's internal.
What are
means
these
the Bible
historical
itself
documents
is
for
historical.
Jesus? Tell us about them.
Well, the Bible itself is historic. The Bible.
See,
itself is
told you
historical
he's using the fragments of
No.
manuscript fragments of the Bible as proof of the Bible.
Is that not
What about
proof
the
of
historian Josephus?
Josephus actually doesn't give it in a positive light. He says that there are a set of Jews who believe there was a Jesus who did these acts. He doesn't affirm there was a Jesus at all.
So he would be a hostile witness, would he not? That they acknowledge that.
My gosh, that term again.
It's not a matter of hostile witness.
It's applied.
Okay,
Someone
so
drop
here's
out?
What happened then? I don't know.
here's sources. This is called sources.
I don't know why
for
we're
life
even arguing.
secret.
I was only pointing out that what John has is similar. We could argue like this all day about religion. We could argue all day about his version of science. That was
the argument is interesting to me because I think it's one of the most ridiculous ones I've ever heard. That is even a comparison somebody would make.
Oh my God, Kosher, that's totally a lie. You've heard way more ridiculous arguments before.
He's just parroting Lee Strobel and thinks he's being original. I mean, no big deal.
You think?
Arguably, those are two of the most consequential.
So am I right, Rags? You're just parroting Strobel, right? You're just parroting Strobel, aren't you?
You know what I've
I
researched?
just asked you a question.
You know
Are
what
you?
I've done?
Yeah, I'm
No.
pretty sure. You said
I'm not.
everything you said.
But,
I've heard
okay.
in Lee Strobel.
Okay. What if?
No, the whole
did
hostile
Lee
witness
Strobel
thing is
get his
directly
information?
from Lee Strobel. He made that up. You copied it, right?
What's wrong with a hostile
Can
witness?
I have some
argument?
source documents for Lee Strobel, please? I need source documents for Lee Strobel.
I didn't make
You
the
guys
claim about
come
Lee
in
Strobel.
thinking you're interesting, and you're just not. You're just boring.
Then why are you here?
right.
To not be
again.
bored.
You can leave. You can leave at any time. There's nothing keeping you here.
Yeah.
Are you under the impression that people are here for you? That's
No, we're
weird.
here for
not
the
here for me.
conversation.
You guys-
That's what we're here
This
for.
guy's saying he's boring. If he's not boring, why is he engaged in this conversation?
I think
No,
it's
you're boring.
Scott,
He
don't
doesn't
be
even
doing
know who's
that.
being
Who
talked
cares? I
about.
don't care who you are.
Scott, I'm warning you now. Don't be doing that.
All day long.
Okay?
I don't care.
an interesting claim, but I do also I don't know if you're serious about it because it's not.
Oh, who's Bart Ehrman? Can anybody tell me who he is?
Simpson?
You know who Bart Ehrman is?
Who is he?
He's a biblical historian, works out of some college in the East Coast. I forget which one he's at, Virginia or something like that. Yeah, everybody knows Bart Ehrman.
Oh, Ehrman.
Okay, what is he?
You're not bringing anything new to the table, man.
Okay, I know that. So is he a hostile? Would he be like? Since he's an atheist?
Yes, we all know Bart Ehrman believes Jesus Christ was a real person. We all know that.
Okay.
Every one of us.
Okay. Okay, so.
But he doesn't
There
believe
you
in the
go. You got-
miracles. We also all know that too, which was the
Oh,
thing
so you
under
have a
question, right? The thing under question was the miracles.
Okay,
Not
you
the
guys
man.
automatically hold on. Bert Ehrman and everybody on this panel has a presupposition against anything supernatural because you don't have the capability or the possibility that miracles could exist. Because if
Is it a
God does exist,
presupposition if it's
then
never
miracles
occurred?
can exist.
No. I have no problem with miracles existing. Just got to wait for one to be evidenced.
What
So
evidence
when you
would
show
you require for a
Jesus
miracle?
walking on water, I'll buy it.
You want Jesus to work a miracle for you?
Well,
Is that what
it's
you want?
reproducible. So can we call it evidence? The words, the retranscribed words of secondhand accounts.
How do you know the other for secondhand accounts? What's your evidence?
Because
Bart Ehrman doesn't think the
when the
second
Bible
Vatican.
was written.
No, Bart Ehrman does actually.
Does he? He thinks all the New
Absolutely.
Testament writers, New Testament. So Jesus,
Absolutely,
or not Jesus,
yes.
Paul. So Paul, the apostle, that was a second-hand writing. All his.
Paul
epistles
never
were.
met Jesus by Paul's own words, and that's Bart
I
Ehrman,
didn't
not
say
me.
that
I
he
never read
did.
the stupid Bible.
But Paul gives witness to what's happening in the New Testament, in the Gospels.
Dude,
And he was
if you want
there.
to bring if you want to bring in Bart Ehrman, you should read him.
I've
He
heard him.
doesn't agree with you.
Actually, his popular writings don't disagree, or they disagree with me, but his scholarly work does.
Nope.
Once you read his scholarly work, and let's come back and talk.
That's kind of weird.
Because actually, his mentor is a Christian that he highly respects.
So do you believe the Gospels were actually written by men named Matthew, Luke, and Mark?
That's what they.
Do you think Bart Ehrman believes that?
I don't. I mean, Bart Ehrman. My point I brought. Did I quote anything else about Bart Ehrman? All I said is he believed that Jesus existed. I don't know. I don't agree with what Bart Ehrman says about the New Testament. Everything.
Do you think any biblical scholar anywhere believes that?
There's quite a few actually.
Wait, what do you think about that?
Please,
Can
I
you
need
link
some
to
source
one?
documents.
Can you link to one who believes that those men actually wrote those books?
Well, give me a second. I will find one.
Yeah, cool.
I think he's going to go to the Institute for Creation Research.
I once read that the only one that possibly, besides Paul, was possibly Peter, maybe because was he a doctor or something like that? But the other
Peter
guys,
was
I
a
don't think
what?
they knew how to write.
So the problem with a lot of the the New Testament scripts is that they talk about things that happened after Jesus died. So clearly they weren't written right then and there, the entirety of the text.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's think about this. Let's think about what you just said.
Yes.
Okay, if I want to write about this conversation right now that we're having, I have to write it either after it happened. I can't write it. It's hard to write it when I'm in the middle of it.
But if I'm writing about 2020, I'm not going to include things that happen in, let's say, 2025 as context or syntax for our conversation in 2020, am I?
Also, it's weird. Well, I mean, the stuff that's written about him as a child and a baby and stuff, that's like impossible actually for.
No, what if the writers knew Jesus's mother, Mary, and they got the information from her?
But there is no scholar anywhere who believes that happened. None.
Oh, you don't think so? No scholar believes that at all. That happened.
It's not what I think. It's what I know. I know there's no scholar who believes that happened.
Why don't you quote your scholars, and I'll try to find some that disagree with your scholars.
Okay.
So then we're going to appeal to authority at this point, right? Whoever has the greater authority.
No, we're not going to appeal to anything. You're not going to be able to find anything who says that happened. That much I know. Go for it.
What specifically? Are we talking about the gospel writers, or are we talking about just that one account?
One scholar who thinks that the writers talked to Mary.
Would men even talk to women back then?
No,
that might get you shackled and caned.
Who was 14 years old when she was impregnated by God. Talk about child abuse.
Ooh.
Yeah, come on. Think about Mary Magdalene.
I don't even know why I came in here.
I don't think Mary Magdalene knew Jesus when he was
don't either.
Child.
Yeah, let's fix the flat earth, eh?
It's okay. Kosher's only read the Old Testament.
No, I've read the New Testament quite a few times. I like the Jefferson Bible.
I like the Jefferson Airplane Bible.
The Jefferson Airplane Bible? I wish that was real.
Hey, Kosher, favorite band,
which
Tora,
kind of
Tora?
proves my sorry, Curb, go ahead.
Yeah, it was.
Curb, make your point.
Trying to ask Kosher if his favorite 80s band was Tora Tora.
Yeah, I said yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, the point was of what I was saying, John, if you're still here, is that this is faith here. So, I believe that these were inspired by God, the writings, however they put it together. We weren't there. We weren't there. So you can't argue with my faith. This is the point. This is the point. I can't show you any of this, so you either believe it or you don't. That's the choice. Now, with your side, you're saying, well, it's not like that. We can actually demonstrate and prove all of what we're claiming. And I'm saying that
yes, we can.
And I'm saying that you can't, John, if you're still here.
Yes, we can.
Any claim... No, I didn't kick you, Scott. I don't know what happened to you. I'll let you know if I kick you.
Kimo.
Well, John's gone now, but the point was that's what we're arguing religion now, which is faith, is what obviously we can't demonstrate.
Good song.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if there was a book written about like Theodore Roosevelt today? Maybe not even Theodore Roosevelt, maybe like Rasputin. A book written about Rasputin today, and that was later, supposed to be gospel and stuff. Because there's definitely written, he's on camera, there's written record of him, so he existed. But any record that's written today is going to be probably not accurate. Nobody was there even. Most of the writings about Jesus were, even though Paul, who never met him,
You still there? Sure.
Him somehow.
Still there, Coach?
That's too bad.
The man silence, Kojo.
Say again?
Am I breaking up or are you breaking up?
Oh shit, you're okay. The man is taking you out.
I don't want to say anything offensive, although this might sound offensive. Because I have respect for Jesus.
Too late.
I have respect for him, but...
Who are you talking about?
Jesus Christ. But I have an opinion, and it's only an assumption, really, but I think like he
Opinions can't be
traveled.
lied. Finally, Kosho won't tell a lie.
He traveled.
Go ahead, Kosho.
Probably east, and he had like a different philosophy than a lot of the Jews that he was, and the Jewish people, and so he brought that philosophy back. But I think he also learned some kind of, like let's say the miracles are based on true stories, and those true stories are based on kind of like magic tricks, because a lot of the stuff that he's claimed to have done are actually like all I mean, I could do all the magic tricks actually that were his miracles, but it just depends on if they actually.
You wouldn't get crucified. You wouldn't get crucified for your magic tricks, though, Kosho.
Say again?
You wouldn't get crucified for your magic tricks, and they would have worked out how he did it.
Yeah, but one of the things he did, one of the last things he did was he like took somebody's demon out of their body and then put their demons into like some pigs and then made those pigs drown themselves. And so I think he was really getting on people's nerves with that kind of, if that's the true thing.
It's going to upset a lot of people if you've got a lot of power. There's going to be a lot of jealousy, right?
Once more?
I don't know who that was.
Oh, no, Kimo. I mean, you said something, Kimo?
I'm just saying, if someone, shows a lot of power, you're going to have jealousy, right? They're going to try and take Jesus down. That's normal.
Yeah, but I'm not sure exactly that's what happened. Because even, let's say the John the Baptist story, that's probably a true story. And supposedly, he was friends with King Herod. Like, he actually liked him. And for some reason, his niece, that was like, she wanted his head for some reason. So I think it's possible that Jesus could have gotten away with being a kind of had a cult following or whatever.
Yeah, that's what Muslims say about Jesus, that he was a trickster.
No, I don't think the trickster. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to paint him as a trickster, but
you don't. That's what I hear. That they say he was just a normal man who did tricks.
Yeah, well, no, like a person like he used those.
He's a prophet, bro.
To help with his gathering.
Well, God performed miracles through him.
Yeah, but he didn't really do any miracles though.
Have you ever heard of the boiling frog effect?
Did he walk on water? Did he do miracles?
The frog jumps out.
Yes.
I've seen several people walk on water, and they're magicians, and I've seen I've turned water into wine, but it wasn't wine. It was iodine.
Not just Jesus who did stuff like that. So the sea was parted. Yes, another miracle.
Yeah, Moses. Yes.
That was hair. Harry was.
So
And that
all
one
this is
never
through
happened
God,
either.
right? God can make anyone do anything. Yes, that's the idea. And he even has people today can heal other people. That's through the power of God, right?
This is more believable.
Or people can make up some really
This
cool
is a valuable
stories.
conversation.
Well, not even maybe not even to lie, but maybe like they're telling the story, and then I said this the other day. I said you tell a story, and then let's say something was embellished. What's going to happen is once that story's repeated again, those embellishments are going to be some of the most memorable parts, and they're going to turn into miracle-like things. So a lot of stuff from the Torah, even I'm sure that's a lot of that stuff's based on real things that happen, but they're not stored. They're the stuff that you can attribute to accuracy, or you can say is more accurate than not, would probably be the stuff that's realistic, and the things that are not realistic are probably the.
I don't think he parted the sea.
No, I think they probably crossed the sea. I think probably I've heard a theory that it was like really low or something like that. But that's what I'm saying. Like it's not like that story was written down immediately after, and it was written down. It was written down later, like while they were in the
There's
desert.
no evidence whatsoever that the Egyptians ever enslaved millions of Israelites.
And parting the sea
The whole story is made up. The entire Exodus is myth.
No. There's evidence for a
If
worldwide
you're going to
flood.
enslave millions of people,
There's
you need to
no
have
evidence for
millions
any
of people to enslave them.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
There's evidence that we had a
And if
flood.
they could
not
line
so
up
long
and
ago.
stretch all the way from Egypt to Israel, like pointless. That march would be really dumb.
Parting the sea was just low tide.
Sea never happened. It's all fiction. It's all myth. Made up.
No, that's history. That's historic.
It's certainly not history.
Historical
You
context.
can't claim that there's no evidence and then claim that it's made up. The only thing you can claim is that you don't know if there's
That's
no
how we
evidence
know.
one
That's
way
how
or
we
the
know
other.
it's made up because there is no
Yeah,
evidence.
it's like how you know there's no unicorns.
Well, no, but
there's no evidence.
But the evidence, part of the evidence is the fact that it's that they're claiming that that's what happened, even though that's not good evidence. But
no,
that's like their origin story. So like that's why I take it with a grain of salt, because they, like I said, they didn't just turn up out of nowhere. So they did. If they're claiming that they were enslaved and they traveled across the desert, I mean, I don't know why they would make that up. It doesn't seem like they would make that part up. And that's
You really can't think of any reason they'd make that up.
Oh yeah, because the story even makes sense because they're unruly while they're in the desert, and he makes these rules, and those rules are the 10 Commandments, and then those rules turn into he makes his brother the priest, and the line of the priest goes through the line of his brother. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Like it's consistent with a realistic sounding story. I mean, it could be a completely made up story and something different happened, but I would err to the side of probably that being based somewhat in reality.
Well, Kosho, congratulations. You are the least dumbest globe earther.
I knew that.
Yeah, I've made this claim several times here that all of our beliefs have to come down to what we think.
Fuck, I'm at number 9. The fuck?
Hold on, go. Repeat that, Scott Mackey.
That I made this claim here that all of us, we keep thinking that we know the truth, each one of us, right? I believe I do, you believe you do. And that each one of our claims to truth come down to what we think sounds reasonable to us. And when you just said right there that sounds reasonable to you, to me, that just sounds so unreasonable. And I don't know where we differ. Because it's intuition, right? It's intuition. I agree with that. But my intuition says, no fucking way that's reasonable.
Maybe we can at least agree then, because I didn't say that this is something I know.
I know.
We could agree then that these are the side that we air, like you air on that side not being true, but you don't know, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, let's just believe it's true.
It's just a difference what you and I think sounds reasonable to us individually. And it's like the differences I think are interesting. Like, wow, you think that sounds reasonable and I don't. And I wonder what the difference is.
Well, what do you think? What do you think about what I said though about the likeliness of them just making up a story like that, like making up any kind of like them traveling through the desert and him coming up with the rules and this kind of thing? Like, why? I don't know why that would even I don't know why they would need to make that up instead of whatever really happened.
Culture needs creation myths, especially back then before pre-writing, right? They didn't have anything to write down for a long time, right? Because there was no writing.
Yeah.
So these oral traditions always have myths in them. Every culture has an origin myth, especially pre-literate ones or prehistoric ones, literally.
If I may add something, Kosho, I think the subject of made-up stories is something that you're an expert at.
You go fuck yourself.
I think the idea of a god, everyone knows as the creator, a god. I think what Scott is doubting is the devil, because obviously the biggest trick was to make everyone
Tell me what
believe.
you think I'm doubting.
No, you know there's a creator. You know you can't have a creator.
I just told you exactly what I'm doubting, Kimo. You don't got to change what I said.
No, but again, we can
I doubt
know.
a god exists.
Yeah,
No,
but you don't have any
would say I know
special knowledge on the fact that you can have a creation without a creator. So you know that. We all know that. There has to be a creator. But what you're doubting is there is a devil tempting you to do wrong, bad things and like this.
What I find interesting, Kimo, is how you're required to change what I say to fit what you need it to be.
Well, then
he's trying to get that by. He's trying to get that by with the challenge where he says,
let's
we
look
all
at
know
it.
that there's a creator. He's trying to get that by with no challenge.
How do you have a creation then, Scott, without the creator?
We've discussed this like 1,000 times already, and I've discussed it
What was the answer then? Okay, after the 1,000 times, what was the
answer? Is I don't know, Kimo, and I'm good with that.
There you go.
It's going to be circular, Kimo, because
neither creation nor infinity makes sense to my feeble brain.
No, that's not what you know. What we all
it's
know.
Going to be circular, Kimo. How do you have a creator without a creator?
Now you're just making up a fictitious story, Scott. We can only go with what we know. And what
I made up nothing, Kimo.
Yeah, you are. You're writing stories that it came from nothing.
What was the fictitious story I made up, Kimo? Tell me my story.
It could be this. It could be that. That's a story. It can only be one.
It's not a story.
It could be this. It could be that. It's a made-up story.
I don't know.
What's the answer?
Okay. I know you need. Yeah, for some reason you need to hold that position. I get that, Kimo.
Okay.
It's just not my position.
Yeah, it is. It's all of our positions. We all know you can't have a creation without a creator. You know that.
Kimo, don't put words in my mouth.
I know that, Kimo.
So how do you have a creation without a creator? Then what happens?
You can.
I have no fucking idea.
That's a good question to ask, but making presumptions based on no evidence.
So the only way that can happen is with magic. Yes, you would have
disingenuous.
to do something magical to show me that you have
That's one theory.
nothing, and then a creation without the creator.
That's one theory.
Right, exactly. That's just fiction.
I don't subscribe to that.
Write it down and make it up. What we know that you have to have a creator. That makes perfect
false.
sense.
Can you prove that?
That's true. Yeah, law of causality. It's the necessary antecedent.
Exactly. So there you go.
Even despite lack of evidence.
So the only thing we're not talking about what you know, what you don't believe. Okay, because the devil's greatest trick was to convince the world doesn't exist. You don't believe there's no devil or no someone tempting you to do.
Yeah, there's no evidence to think that there is either. So
yeah,
yes,
that's it out here. That someone's not making.
No, that's not the only doubt I have, Kimo. Stop trying to force my beliefs into your feeble understanding of this universe.
I'm talking about what you know. You've just told us what you know. You don't know of a creation without a creator. You don't know what can cause it. What you do know is you only know of creation with a creator. You've just told us the answer, Scott. Exactly. So I can tell you what you do know, and what you do know is only a creation with a creator. That's what you do know. What you don't know is a creation without a creator.
Either.
You don't know that, Scott.
I don't know either.
You don't know either what?
What do you know, Scott?
Exactly.
Kimo, can you have ice from water?
Let's not deviate. Let's not deviate. Let's stay on topic.
No. You are
Let's stay on
saying
target
we
here
know
now.
a thing. No, don't. You know a thing, and you're making a huge claim right now. So I'm going to challenge that.
You've just been told
Can we
about
make ice from
causality.
water without human intervention, without a sentient being intervening? Can we do that?
Water? We can't create water.
No, I'm not saying creating water.
We can.
How do you create water?
Hydrogen, oxygen.
I'm sure I saw an
two hydrogens.
article that says we can't create water. Let me find it.
Yeah, it's very easy.
No. We can't. That's one of the things we can't create. Let me find it.
You can't create water.
No.
Are you sure about that?
I'm not. Yeah, I think so.
From nothing, yeah, you can't create water.
It's the most common
You
element.
can't take common elements and make water out of them?
No, that's what
Where
we
the elements come
thought.
from?
We thought that.
Well, no, you just said create water. I could take hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah, if you burn
Make some
hydrogen
water.
in the air, you'll get water.
Yeah, I literally make water
Yeah.
every day I drive my car. I have a hydrogen fuel car, and it takes hydrogen and takes oxygen from the air, and I exhaust water from my car every
You
day.
guys don't make shit.
Quit
You guys couldn't
polluting
make-
shit.
you
also a
couldn't
natural
make an
process.
ant. If the entire world came together, they couldn't make an ant.
That's also a natural process in nature as well.
Gasoline engines do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like all these things are created right before our eyes without any intervention. That's crazy. But continue, Kimo.
Crazy.
No, they can't make water
Dumb
by mixing
argument.
oxygen and hydrogen.
If there's a God, why
molecules
would he
together.
make chemo?
Check.
But again, there would be
Because,
it's a circular argument because whatever in your opinion that
Yeah.
answer we give, I'm just gonna ask who created the creator, and then we're gonna go down that
You
path
can't make this
forever.
infinite regress fallacy. Well, that's a fallacy, so we're not going.
I don't know why you're
down
telling me
that
like I
path.
didn't just preface that. I just said we're gonna go into a
So we're
circular
not
argument
you
going
said we're gonna go
forever.
down that
I
path
just
forever, but I'm
prefaced it
telling
that
you
way.
we're
I don't
not
know why
going
you have
down that
to
path
say it.
Because
Just because you like agree
Jeremy
that
has
it's a
to
policy
point out
doesn't make
the
it not a
obvious.
policy after you say it.
Right, this is for
But it's still
kids
a lot
there,
of
doesn't mean
people
we're
Verbal.
going down that
This
path.
tells you that you
Now that
can't
we
make
all know
water.
it's a fallacy.
And they
Yeah,
explain
we
that
can't make water.
they
We
explain-
can't make water, Jeremy.
No,
Are
it
you
says
that
just
dumb?
just
Water is one
mixing
of the
hydrogen and
easiest
oxygen
to make.
together doesn't make water. To join them together,
Yeah,
you
you
need
can't-
energy. The trouble of with adding energy into the equation is that large-scale chemical reaction is flammable hydrogen and oxygen, which keeps a fire burner. So they're looking into different ways, but they can't do it. Can't just make
No,
water.
they think there's more. They think there's more fresh water in the earth than there is on the surface of the earth. So there's a lot of water to be had, and like I said, if you burn hydrogen anytime ever, water is a byproduct. So I don't know what you guys are talking about.
You guys aren't making shit.
Exactly.
You said somebody said we could take a
Converting
hydrogen
the
and oxygen
molecules
molecule.
to like the actual thing. That's you're not making the molecules. You haven't made shit.
Boom. Water made from alcohol.
Members,
Boom.
You're not making.
Boom.
You're not
It's
making
being
the
made. It
alcohol,
wasn't
though.
there,
You're
now
not
it's there.
making anything.
Boom.
No, you're maybe like converting it to alcohol to water, but you're not making
That's
anything.
called making something.
No,
So we
making
don't make
Things are made.
Creating water, yes.
the context is God from nothing.
You put it together and you make it. Okay.
No,
Show me
what was
nothing
the
then.
world made out of?
How can we make
Nobody
something
makes
from nothing if we don't
What
have
was
any
the world made
examples of
of
nothing?
then? What was the world
Nobody
made out
makes
of?
anything in Pocontrol's world.
What was the world made out of?
Jeez.
Dude, you understand your point, right? Carry it out. Remember that.
Yeah, my point is, you guys are talking about God and creation. God is like he's the rule breaker. Okay, it goes above your logic.
Okay,
it's
that's nice, but
supernatural.
that's not what
right?
Kimo
Above our
asked
natural
for.
law,
Kimo
above
asked
the
if we could make
causality,
water, and we
above,
did.
above the law of conservation, above all of this shit. Okay, he created shit from nothing.
So
Why
you're saying
is
that
God
he
the rule
can,
breaker?
he can create.
All we do is we discover
Most
that
importantly, he
the
was
things
above
that
the.
came
So, but
about
he-
without any kind of rule breaking.
It sounds like he's
Most
saying that
importantly,
God
he was-
can
he was-
create something in empty space. Where if there is nothing,
Right,
all of a
exactly.
sudden he can make.
God
something,
created
right?
space, bro.
Percentage.
Right, so-
Most importantly,
that's
he
in the
was above
face
the
of-
first law of thermodynamics.
Space
that's
isn't
what he's
real.
saying.
Law.
So when he's saying, "Can you create water?" he means from nothing. You don't have anything to start with. The plate.
Yeah, you
plate's
do, man.
empty.
This is why
Right, there is
I believe
nothing.
in God, but I believe in the inception of the Big Bang. And after the Big Bang happened, there doesn't need to be any intervention after that. There's,
Hey,
there's
what
a
bang?
few
What
rules.
went bang?
There's a few
What
rules.
bang?
I wouldn't talk yet if you have questions, okay? Because I'll just finish saying it, and then you might not have questions. But yeah, there's a few simple rules, like 20, 30, 40 rules, and then this outward burst, and then energy, all the energy, and everything just comes about just because of those rules. That's pretty interesting, and that
Yeah.
you don't need to sit there and make water when you have the hydrogen that's already there, and all you have, all the processes that we learned about, they make the all the stuff that was around us come
Where
about.
did that come from?
The energy.
Yeah, where did the energy come from?
Yeah, the energy, the rules, everything, the space, and the time that it happened, and everything.
That's why I said I believe in God, because I don't know where the energy came from. I don't know who made those rules, so I say maybe that was God who made those rules and who put out that initial outward burst. But after that outward burst and those rules, there doesn't need to be any intervention, and everything else can come about based on those rules.
God is not incompatible with Big Bang.
Yeah, but the Big Bang is incompatible without God.
So what?
You never heard the theory
Okay,
that the
I'll
Big
give you
Bang
God. I don't give a shit. All I can say is I don't know, but I'll give you God. I don't care. He poofed the world or he poofed the universe into existence by making hydrogen. Fucking big deal.
You ever hear
Where
the
does it
theory how the Big Bang
that God
repeats
banged
itself?
everything into existence?
Yeah, but do you hear what I said before? The energy, once that energy was created, there doesn't have to be anything else. Like nobody has to sit there and manufacture anything because the rules that were made makes the first hydrogen and helium elements, and then all the other elements come about through fusion, and then the chemical reactions of all those elements coming together.
Yeah, he designed a
these
good
things happen-
system
these
that's
things
like
happen just based
cyclical.
on those rules.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
designed a
but
system that's
Kosha,
almost
now
like
you
on
have-
autopilot. It could almost be on autopilot. That's
Yeah.
just
So what?
the-
Nobody.
Kosha.
that's the testament of a good designer.
In Big Bang, there is nothing that excludes God, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't say anything about that God.
But now they're going to compel you. But now
Saying
they're
that,
going
man,
to
you're
compel
getting
you to
confused.
explain abiogenesis and consciousness.
Well, yeah, of course. There's answers.
So always the next step.
Yeah, but that's the thing though about abiogenesis is even though, and the same thing with dark matter or dark energy, even it's like these things are not so far outside our grasp that we don't think we'll ever get the answers to them. We just don't have the answers currently. But the things that make these things up, they are in the realms of perfectly sound science, like chemical evolution, that kind of stuff. It could have could have done abiogenesis. We just don't have definite proof of that.
Well, the thing that's a little problematic is that God revealed to us how it was done, but now we're trying to reveal to ourselves how it's done.
People revealed to us. We don't know if God did.
The problem is we're trying to reveal knowledge to ourselves outside of God. So
No,
that's going to be.
honestly, I personally believe that we are.
Oh, interesting.
Happened.
That
was profound.
That is a good way to look at it.
We
are nothing.
Maybe.
We
are
nothing.
Maybe.
The youth
I
of
know,
the nation.
sir.
We are nothing. That's so deep.
We are.
No, how about this? Does anyone else hear the theory how the Big Bang just repeats itself? Fucking
Like
goes,
that,
boom,
Moyak.
stretches out, and then collapses
Get a
back into
interpretation of it.
nothing, and then boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Completely
basically
kosher, you know that,
cyclical.
right?
Nice theories.
Right after you said "we are," you dropped off completely, and no one heard a word you
Oh,
said.
my
after
bad.
that.
Oh no, I
We
don't remember.
agree with what you said.
I said, I was just saying that. I was just saying that it's very possible that the God's limitations are our limitations, and what we
Just say it,
what we
Kosha.
can
You
do-
think
what
that
we
we're
can
gods
do
and you
is,
don't believe in a
that God
transcendent God.
utilizes
Just say it, dude. Pantheism
learn about and
think that
manipulate the world.
just say it.
That's their Luciferian lemon to think we're gods, you know?
It really is. And on top of that, the Big Bang always devolves into cyclical pantheism. So basically, this is a non-biblical pantheistic idea. Let's just face it. Lots of
Kosha, we know what you're doing.
Jesuit
No
Masons.
argument against it. No argument
Kosha's
for
trying
it.
to sneak in the New
It's something we
Age
can't comment on.
movement. See what you're doing,
thing is-
Kosha.
The thing is, these are shown to be true, though. Like the thing about the rules, we are learning the rules of the universe, and so it's not even in question that almost everything that we see and everything that happens you don't need a supernatural explanation for it. Like it can come about because then.
Impossible.
Yeah, Kosha, we get it. You're satanic. You hate God. You want to be God.
The Luciferian is coming out, Kosha. Again, I know we're coming to the end of the time, and time is short, and like you've got to get it out there. But there's a
Wait, we're coming to the end of the time again?
Hail Satan.
We're
Time is
almost,
short,
we're
yeah.
always at the end of times. Huh?
That's why the world's getting Scott. Things are going to get
Every
worse.
year,
So you're going to see more disease, more sickness. You're going to see more war.
You know what I saw?
You're going to see more
There
poverty.
was a.
Hold on, boy.
there was-
Can't you hear I'm talking?
Yeah,
Scott,
but
it's
you're
going
just
to get a
talking
lot.
shit.
The predictions are, Scott, that it's going to get a lot worse. Right? More sickness, more disease, more people dying, more war, rumors of war. You're going to hear about war.
The 11
Oh, rumors of war.
Rumors of war, yes.
mean
What's
like-
gonna happen?
hold on.
Oh yeah, it's going to be
1300,
expensive.
1400,
So the price of bread
1500.
or an apple, I can't remember what it is, it's going to cost a
There'll be
week's wages or
rumors and
something.
rumors
It's very
of war.
expensive.
And earthquakes.
Earthquakes. See, you see, Scott. We know what's coming. It's
And
going
the
to be
word of the stars shall fall to earth from the sky.
We're all
Scott,
familiar with
for the-
Revelations.
for the end of times or whatever, I saw a meme where it was, the Mayans were dyslexic, so it wasn't 2012, it was 2021.
No. What that? See, now what you don't understand these things. You see, now when they talk about end of the world, end of time, they're just talking about the birth of a spirit or the death of an old one. So obviously they're trying to wait for the Antichrist to come in, the spirit of Antichrist. Now, obviously those dates are important because they align with the stars, the moon, the planets. To them, they get to that kind of stuff, and that means there's portals being opened. And that just means, well, we can see worse things happening.
What about the days of Noah, Kimo?
That's what we're heading towards that right now. Yeah, definitely.
Kimo, are you excited for the apocalypse? Are you excited, looking forward to it?
Yeah, I mean, this world is not what you think it is, and I think it does need something needs to happen, right? It needs to change. Too many evil people. There's young people being abused underground. Need to stop all that kind of stuff. There's all kind of things that need to happen. Yeah, it needs to change.
So it's a death cult. You can't wait for the apocalypse. It's a death cult.
No, you got to enjoy life. Try and enjoy life.
God of life, though. God is not the God of the dead. He's the God of the living.
Yeah,
God is the God of life.
Absolutely. So enjoy your life now. What you've been given, God's giving you life. Enjoy it, appreciate it, but know what's coming. And you don't be.
You're excited for the apocalypse. You're excited for human extinction. You're
not part of this world, are you?
Yeah, you can't wait.
We're excited for the coming of our King and the coming kingdom. We're excited for Jesus coming back.
So that he goes to heaven and everyone else goes to hell.
No, he's not going. Whenever the rapture happens and the apocalypse is going down, Kimo's going to stay here and fight with me. We got to fight off the bad guys or whatever they're called, the demons.
I think if you don't,
tribulation saints, don't take the mark. Don't do what the Antichrist Jared Kushner says. Don't do it.
You know what's crazy about the apocalypse is it's 2,000 years after it was written about, and it's very possible that they didn't expect it to. Like, people are always thinking, like, oh dang, it's about to happen. Jesus just died. He's gonna come right back, and it's gonna happen.
He said that.
But yeah,
That's what they thought.
Yeah, it never happened, and it's not gonna happen now. So it's
you
like,
here shall not taste death before my return.
Well, that's the problem. Israel had to become then the temple's supposed to be built. That time supposed to be a technology, and this Antichrist is supposed to rise up, right?
So that's the only fearful thing about it is.
Well, here, check it out. So if the temple's built because it says that this Antichrist dude is wounded unto death and stands in, he raises up and then goes in the temple. So the temple has to be built.
Yeah. So yeah, the scary thing about those prophecies and about the Muslim prophecies that coincide with those prophecies is that people do believe in them, and people who believe in them also have the ability to influence events so as to like make a false what do you call that, a self-fulfilling prophecy, basically.
Yeah, but then kosher,
which is kind of scary if if people actually believe it, like the ISIS people, they have the thing called the Mahdi, which is like a black flag dude who's supposed to reign for 7 years and then reign in for some guy who's going to follow them and be a king for the world. And that's the exact same description as like the Antichrist.
Yeah, but check it out.
There's people who have the ability to
usher
these things in.
Now. Check it out though. But the Jewish cabal, are making sure that all of these things are happening. What I mean is they're causing like the wars, all the problems, all the issues. So, like, if they weren't doing the things that are being prophesized, then someone is orchestrating all these things, right?
When was it not the case that there were wars and rumors of wars and earthquakes? What year was this not happening? And disease, stuff like that, famine, pestilence. Can you tell me what year this didn't happen?
Well, what do you mean, world wars?
Wars and rumors of wars.
But it's true that Hebrew was a dead language for a very long time, and there wasn't Jews living there. And so, but like I said, that could just be the product of self-fulfilling prophecies, basically. People forcefully...
I don't know what you mean. So what are you saying? Like the Chinese, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, were warring with people in what? Where? France or something. What are you talking about? What do you mean these wars ages ago?
Kimo, isn't the bear supposed to go to war against the eagle?
Oh, we're into.
Well, it's the dragon, yeah.
What the fuck?
Dragon. But I want to know what what is Moyak talking about when he says?
Symbol.
What does
So
Moyak
Russia-
mean when he says these wars?
There have been wars and rumors of wars every century since the time of Christ.
Where? How? From who? What do you mean? So if you're in China, what's the rumor of war?
It's a silly thing to ask. There's
You're in France.
everywhere
What do you
war,
mean?
Everywhere there's a fear of war. It's not a new thing.
How? If you're just in your country and you're like when the Indians in America, they were just sitting on their island. They didn't hear, oh, there's going to be a war. They just were overtaken. What do you mean?
They were fighting
rumors?
with each other a lot, man. There was dudes. I think right before Columbus came, they were capturing and killing like 80,000 people a weekend and sacrificing them and stuff. They were already at war and stuff.
That's not a war, though, is it?
Oh no, that was the whole point of the Aztec Empire. Was they used to have to sacrifice to the sun god to make sure that the sun rose to preserve the earth. They were staving off the end of days, effectively, is the way they viewed it.
Rumors of war, Kosher.
God of War
Rumors of
also,
war,
like,
Kosher, are like when you say the Germans are coming. The Germans are coming, so we're going to have to get ready to fight.
Tishkalakan, I think, or Tishkalan, something or other. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, and there's also, remember that this dude who makes the peace treaty, when he's wounded unto death, that's probably due to something going on in Israel where, you know, the Jews will get this much land back, and then they'll get mad. They'll blame that dude for writing, you know, for making the peace treaty. He'll be probably assassinated. That's what the Bible seems like it's saying.
Prophecies are not real whatsoever, and those kind of prophecies are also very easily capable of being, like I said, self-fulfilling.
Okay,
But when somebody
Antichrist.
somebody has a
Antichrist,
fever
Kosher,
dream
that's what
and
you
it's
are,
like
Antichrist,
vague
yes?
story that can be interpreted in 1,000 different ways. Those are not real prophecies.
Kosher, this is Antichrist
You
talk.
can just look at the city of Tyre in the Bible. You know, in the Bible, Nebuchadnezzar was prophesied to sack the city, raze it to the ground, cast it into the sea, and no one would know where it was apart from fishermen who catch their nets on it. Unfortunately, it's been occupied for nearly 3,500, 4,000 years. Way before the time of Nebuchadnezzar, way after.
That's just your narrative you've been fed.
No, that's the prophecy of the prophet Ezekiel
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
to Nebuchadnezzar II.
Oh, Nebuchadnezzar II. Man, Junior was a bitch.
What about the prophecy of what's that Christian broadcast? CBN. That guy
Dumbass?
said that Trump would be president. Remember that? He was all
Oh my
over the
goodness,
news.
he
for
must
that.
be a president. He had a 50-50 chance.
So him and a bunch of other preachers also said the same thing. You know what I mean? So either they're wrong, making them false prophets, or there could
They're
still be a
Republicans.
chance. There still could be a chance that Trump may still be president.
That makes no sense, Paul. But
Or they could be Republicans and they're just hopeful.
I mean,
Side note: who wants to see a pretty good video of the UFO?
there's kind of no point in talking religion with non-religious people, and that's the point of why I brought it up.
Okay, you got it.
That's my point, Curved. Yeah,
So
I
what's
mean, I
next,
agree
Kimo?
because you know, again, all you are out to do is try and ridicule the spiritual side of it, and
All right, walk the walk now, Kimo. Walk the walk.
So let's get back to obviously the shape of the Earth. What we've been like.
That's your religion too. So now what do we do?
stuff that you're normally.
Flat Earth is a
Honesty is
religion.
actually a really important thing.
Well, don't forget, I'm still a flat earther until tomorrow night.
Hey, Kimo, if you
Yes.
want to talk about flat Earth topics, why do you entertain? Why would they lie? Because that's not really a flat Earth question, now, is it?
No, that is off the back of once we show people there's no globe, they ask, well, okay, why would they lie? And that's literally happened.
What lie?
Because when we
You still don't have an answer to that question.
Globe lie.
No, because that becomes an opinion on why
You don't
somebody
have a lie, so the motivation
appeal of
is meaningless.
incredulity.
Well, what it is that someone's opinion.
Oh,
we
the
have to
great
give.
kazoo is back.
we got to give our opinion on why somebody's opinion on why they lied. We don't know why people
You want to
lied.
know who lied and when.
About what?
They've
We're
lied
talking about flat Earth, Kimo.
Yeah, they've lied about the shape of the Earth.
Yeah.
They've told us that the Earth
How?
is...
How? What lie? What
Well-
lie, and how do you know it's a lie?
Well, we know it's a lie through science, through experiments and stuff like that. And again, it's just a general promotion of the shape of the Earth to be a bore. Like,
Typical bullshit. See, this is why you're so boring, Kimo.
Well, again, when you're being taught something, it's
No,
not that
again,
exciting
I'm done.
because you're going through, you're experiencing something that is not comfortable, right?
You've not been taught, and you are not teaching.
I mean, again, we were just
we were standard of evidence.
I mean, again, we were just all told, you know, you got the movies, you've got school, you got the globe in every school, just pretty much the propaganda that told us we were on a board, yeah?
Every school, it's just straight craziness.
I mean, as flat earthers, we would also like to know why would they lie. I mean, we can kind of come to an idea for yourself, but to see it all go, you know, how it went down, that would be interesting. Of why would they lie? To me, again, it's kind of obvious. To me, it's like, well, authority. You've got the creator. Everyone will say if it's a creation, there's a creator. Then obviously they want to get control of the people.
Yeah, but
I think that. Sorry.
I was just going to say. I mean, it's like many flat Earth statements. This question, why would they lie? It's a loaded question. What it means is they have lied, but you don't actually have an answer to the question.
So when they say they, what they mean is the people like the astrophysicists, scientists, mathematicians. So they think that they're outright lying. So we have to kind of correct them. We're constantly correcting people, you know, making showing them that they have a misunderstanding of what the position is. Yes, so it's not that they're lying. The teachers are not like blatantly lying. It's just that they've been told something by a system. The system has told them.
Yeah, okay. But the grand conspiracy, the fundamental of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, you got to think around. So let's say 500 years ago or so, 600, so whatever it is. I mean, the people back then would have been highly religious, highly religious. Now, again, if you want control, you've got to do something. Just like today now, it's the same thing right now on YouTube. They lost control. The people were coming back to the creator. They were like, atheists were like, oh, the science is they've got no evidence. We're like, okay, I'm going back to God.
Well, the thing is, we're rational people. And so if this was a lie that was rationally motivated, we want to know what money they're getting or what land they're hiding with bases. We want to know the whole thing so that we can prevent actions like this happening again on a rational basis.
Kimo conceded in his point. Just one quick one. As Kimo conceded in his point, he said when we show the people that the Earth is flat. So he hasn't actually done that yet. So he's kind of putting the cart in front of the horse, in my view.
Well, yeah, probably because
say,
they kind of show themselves.
shit.
Yeah, you're right. So I mean, what we do is we show that it's not a globe, and people generally show themselves. Okay, so if it's not a globe, what can it be? Let me do a couple more experiments to test that, and then they come to the conclusion that the Earth is flat. Themselves, not because of what we've said. It's because of basically what you've said.
I would say, well, first of all, actually, just hello to Druss, the legend. I haven't spoken to you for quite a long time, so hello. But Kimo, you are aware that Galileo, the whole story of Galileo, he went against the Catholic Church, which was and still is the biggest religious denomination on earth, and they only recently pardoned him in the 90s.
Okay.
I mean, so going back to the early 1600s, he was very, very much going against religious dogma at the time.
No, I mean, you got to think back to the Greek era. I mean, they knew, and the Roman times, these times, I mean, they knew how to manipulate people very, very well, but they didn't really have the technology to, implement it as well as they would have liked to. I mean, what they did, the Roman Empire and all the kind of stuff, did pretty good. But look, they've always had people in place to play parts. Yes, this is always known. Whether they have doubles or they've had, protection. They've always got to protect what you might say the crown. So, like, the leadership needs to be protected. And so
sounds like you're pulling this out your arse.
No, I mean, this has always been the way. They do it today. They've done it since back throughout history. And, like I say, if you want authority, you've got to grab it. Grab it by two hands. And there's no different today, like I said, from what they do hundreds of years ago. They've got to stop get authority back by stopping people seeing the truth.
But what I just said, which you haven't addressed, Kimo, is that that Galileo's findings and his observations went completely against the religious teachings of the time.
Okay.
So, that really kind of undermines what you were previously saying.
Well, what do you mean?
Do you not see that?
No. How? Why? What do you mean?
I don't. I mean, if you don't understand what I'm saying,
Not worth it, dude. Totally not worth it.
Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't worry about it. This is not. Again, look, we have the facts, the figures, the numbers. You're giving me your opinion, which is fine. You can do that. But when it comes to making a claim and backing it up, you're not in a place or position to do that. You do understand that, right?
Yeah.
I hope so. Because, like I said...
Yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about. And again, I appreciate the opinions. You've got to give what you think. You're allowed to do that. But it doesn't really mean that it's truth in any kind of way. And I've just told you how history works with power and authority and how to keep it.
No,
how
you
to acquire
haven't.
it, how to keep it, like I say, and sustain it.
I'm sorry, Kimo, you haven't. You've wandered around. You said, a few hundred years, 500 years. Then you start talking about the Greeks and Romans. Now you're talking about 2,500 years. What's your point? You're just blurbly spewing
That's all he
diarrhea.
ever
with
does. He
no
never has a
actual
point.
value.
He just likes to make noise. He does it for hours a day.
Well, the general point is...
No, you don't have a point, Kimo. You just like to make noise. You do it for hours a day.
Well, the general point is, why would
No,
they
you
lie?
don't have a general point.
Why would they lie?
You just like to make noise.
Well, John asked, why
do it
would
for
they
hours a
lie?
day.
And the
Trying to help
answer is, the answer is authority. How I understand it, authority. Yes, they want to keep.
They want authority.
They want to maintain.
You want authority. You have authority?
No, I already have.
What is your relationship to authority, Kimo?
It's good. They should. They
Okay,
need,
good. That's great.
We need,
Thank you for stopping by. I'm gonna mark that down. Kimo loves authority.
No, I didn't say I love
thank you very much.
authority. I didn't say I love.
what you
We
said.
need rules, we need order, of course.
You love authority.
I didn't say I love it. I said we need.
You said you wanted more of it, basically. Which you can have. You can have more of it. You get as much as you can handle.
Again, it's about acquiring authority. That's what they've tried to do.
You wanted to acquire authority.
Authority was lying to us.
Yeah, so that's what they're trying to, trying to gain power by.
You're not gonna get
God is
authority
the only
staying
true
on a
authority.
Discord. You're not gonna get authority here. The way you get authority is by accomplishing things.
I think
You
you're
can't
going
do
to say
that
conning
here.
people then, and that's what they've done. Yeah, they've conned people to get their
An
authority.
accomplished thing. That's how you get it.
Well, I mean, again, what have your authority accomplished? The authority that you go to.
You're the one that owns authority, not me. I don't have any authority to give you. I can help you. I can tell you how you should get it, though, and that is by accomplishing things.
But no one is. You don't have an authority. No one tells you what to do or what it is.
No, you are the authority. You're the one that's asking for authority, and I'm
Stop
trying to help you
talking
get
then.
it.
Why are you over talking me? I'm
Why are
your
you over talking
authority.
me? Why are you over talking
I'm
me?
telling you why, because you just said I'm your
No,
authority.
you've been over talking all day. You've been monologuing for hours.
But you just asked me why and then overspoke my answer.
Oh, I did not ask you why. What did I ask you why?
So am I your
Just
authority?
right now,
or not?
actually.
Right now, I just did, and I stopped talking to hear the answer.
He's all over the place. And this is
I did ask you why before.
All right, what do you want to talk about then, Veach? What's in your mind?
Percent. What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about playing cards.
Which ones? Like 52 deck?
Just regular playing cards. Which ones are better? Like the plastic kind of like new age like those types, or the old school type. And
Bicycles.
from that we could kind of segue into money because they have the old money and then now they have plastic money and stuff.
Okay. And then?
Well, go on,
Just
Veach.
not Bitcoin, please.
Are we going to talk about it, or am I just going to make a synopsis of the conversation that we didn't have?
Oh, that's cool. No, we
Go
can
on,
talk about
Veach.
it.
Talk about it.
I love playing cards. I like bicycles.
Like monkey.
You seem like a
Veach,
basic
you're on
bitch. Of course you would say bicycle.
It's the only one I can think of.
Scott,
You have fancy ones that have like scents and stuff. Do you little flowers on them? Is that what you play with?
Scott,
I have a box in front of me that says Playwright
Hold on.
Supreme.
I got the
Scott, are you
own
on
theme
something, man?
cards.
Are you taking some
Hey, if
cold
you want
medicine?
some.
No, I just
They're not?
I was pitching. That's all.
I was saying you
Funny
sound a
'cause
little.
I
You
was
sound a little slow
pitching.
today.
I was pitching.
It's funny
Ah.
because the playing cards that are in front of me, the company is Playwright, and Scott's kind of close to that.
Wait, what's playwright?
You're not really a playwright, but you're still a writer.
Playwright. No,
Yeah.
playwright. Playwrights they're good writers. They are very good.
Oh, you want to socialize, Veach? Is that what it is?
No, I just don't want you to monologue. That's all.
I'm saying
This
you
is what
want
it
to
takes. This is what
socialize,
we'll
though.
do.
Is that
We'll
what
make
it
the
is?
sacrifice. We'll sacrifice if this is what it takes. Kimo.
No, I'm just saying you sound like you're socializing now.
Well, we just don't want you to monologue. That's all. Whatever it
I'm
takes.
not monologuing.
I want
I'm
the
just.
map. Kimo, I want the map and I want unity.
It sounds like what happened, Veach? You
Let's
wanna
work
say-
on that map together.
Now they want to talk stuff, but Veach wants to socialize.
Let's do a map, Kimo. Come on. Group project.
Well, again, we can't explore the entire.
What?
Earth. You got a gun? How big is your gun?
Why can't we do a map, Kimo?
You need a big gun so we can travel the place protected and securely.
Where do we have to travel to?
I think they say beyond the 60th. Is it the 60th parallel or something like this?
Well, unless we have a mushroom Earth, we can just do like see the pattern from the 90 to the 60.
You need a military to get past the Queen's military protecting the. She's protecting,
Says who?
So we have the British Empire. Yeah, we've got it in South
I've
Africa.
never experienced this.
We control where is it by Argentina? I forget where it's called now. But there's a place in South America we control. We control America, Canada, basically. We control Canada, so you
George
can't.
is, and that's disgusting.
We control
Did you
Canada.
Half of my country died there.
Performance.
I'm letting
Look
you
where
know
he
why we
placed
can't
them,
travel,
another competition.
Curve. I'm telling you the country we control. So we control China and Japan a little bit, somehow. We got some...
Kimo, this is supposed to be a group project, and you're still somehow monologuing.
Well, I'm letting you know, we can't explore the full...
I'm fine with him
You're
doing all the
not
work as long as I get the grade.
and not saying anything.
Well, on a map.
Speaking bollocks.
If you want a map, you need an army.
And everything you're doing is in an effort to avoid the project.
You
Come
have
on,
an army.
Let's map it out. Can you help them?
Only with an army.
I'm sorry, I meant Don. Don, can you get the party started for him?
Oh, yeah, Don can. Go for it, Don. Tell us how we're going to get the map.
Well, we can map this motherfucker.
Sure.
How can we do it? Just with all of our individual observations.
Don, can you answer Curved?
Like, what are you saying? We could just, like, everyone look at where they are and describe it, and then we'll make a map? Don't laugh at me,
That was
Kimo.
funny.
You were laughing at me. Don't do that.
That was a good joke.
Nice. Serious.
That made me... But Don, come on. Don't leave Curve waiting. We want to make a map.
Solar noon. Solar noon could be useful information here, Kimo.
If you listen to me in the first place, imagine that, right? I'm explaining to you, you need an army, you need a military to be able to go around the place and take out the people who are protecting.
Just your opinion, Kimo.
Outside. Take
What?
note of the time. It's solar noon.
Oh.
Angle of
Do something
elevation.
Yeah, angle of elevation.
You want to map the sky?
Where does the sun rise?
We're never going to get anything
how
done
long,
with you.
How long does it take me to get to the next
leading
village?
the way here.
If
Just
you're in Australia, you might ask yourself, hey, why the fuck is the sun way over there when it should be way up there?
Oh, so childlike.
Kimo, there is the thing that your friend Demog that you always let echo over everyone tends to say he can model everything on a table.
Mhm.
And you can't even provide a map. There's an interesting little. Well, I know he thinks a bicycle is an airplane, right? But still,
We need to face reality, and our hands are tied. They've stopped us from traveling and moving around the flat Earth. What are you supposed to do?
Are they?
Yes.
How about if each of us were to report the elevation of the northern celestial pole?
Now, what we need to do is, if you really want an uprising curve, we've got to come together. Okay, we need to be
What
strategical.
military do we need for that, Kimo?
This is what we need. This is how we need to
government or
talk. This is
anything.
real talk now. This is how you got to go about it. If you really want to know where you live, you've got to
Kimo,
take down.
I was not taught this.
What?
This thing about Polaris, the northern celestial pole. Once I found out it matched your latitude, that was something I went my whole life just oblivious to. I didn't know it. I wasn't even looking into flat Earth when I came across this information. But as soon as I read that Polaris matched your latitude, it reminded me of the flat Earth that I had, heard about years before. And it clicked into place. Oh my God. Right there. That tells you the shape of the northern hemisphere.
No. Again, that's on a presupposition.
Yeah. Just because you don't understand why not doesn't mean no.
What I do understand is why you understand it, and you understand
You
it
don't
because it's based.
understand anything, Kimo.
You understand it because it's based on an assumption.
What's the assumption?
That the things are where they say they are. I've just told you that you think the things are where you think they are. You think the lines are curved. All kinds of issues, all assumptions, all over the place.
What? Be clear in your nonsense here.
I mean, again, it's all over the place. That's my point. Again, I don't know where you guys think you can just say your opinion and act like it's fact. That's not how this thing works.
Okay. Right. Okay. So
is that an opinion, or are you acting like it's a fact?
Who do you think you are? I mean, again, you guys have no position, right, when it comes to science, because it's philosophy.
You have no position when it comes to science.
But we do. I'm trying to show that we do, because we're able to show many people how to conduct science. But we have. That's why we're here today, still now, here today. Years later, that's why, for us, is because we've been able to show vast amounts of people.
What do you have a title? What's the position you actually hold?
It's not about me.
Well, you just said you had a position.
It's not just about me. I'm saying the flat Earth community are
But what is the title of the position? It's not a hard question.
We've earned it in some way. I don't know how or what we've done.
That's fine. Nothing impressive. What's the title?
We don't have a title.
In his opinion, they've earned it.
No.
He's acting like the facts, though.
Yeah. He's mixing his facts and his opinions up again.
No. The evidence is there. We can show scientifically.
His opinion is the evidence is there, but I think people disagree with him.
Kimo, you said yourself you shouldn't use an opinion and act like it's a fact, and now here you are doing it.
Try to listen to what I'm saying. We don't give people an opinion. If I say to something like gas pressure without a container, they understand that. They learn something.
Is that an opinion or a fact?
That's an absolute fact, yes.
Wrong. It's an opinion that you're acting like a fact. You are doing exactly what you set out to do.
No, because again, we have demonstrations to back up that hypothesis. Yeah.
Is that an opinion or a fact? That
again,
is an opinion.
The person. Look, Veach, to listen again. The person doesn't listen to what I say. They look at the demonstration. So I'll say.
Is that an opinion?
I'll say,
or
look.
fact?
I'll say, look at this can. Do you see it? You see a spray can, right? It's got gas in it, right? And we go through it all. So again, they understand through demonstration, not my opinion.
Sounds like your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he's inferring someone else's understanding.
Yeah, this
That
is
sounds
classic
very
opinion.
much like an opinion to me. That's almost a classic.
And by your own words, you shouldn't use your opinion and act like it's fact.
Exactly, unless you have a scientific.
You asked the person, they said it. They stated it as fact.
It's an opinion of yours. Who says it?
The person that he asked.
Yeah, that's your opinion, but it's not a fact. Don't act like it's a fact.
We've got no unedited video, so it's just an opinion. We've got no names of who he spoke to and when, so it's just his opinion.
No, you don't need to know all of that. All you need to know is the science.
Oh, he doesn't know. Is that an opinion or fact?
Yeah.
Oh, never.
Sounds like more opinions to me.
That's a fact. You don't need to know the people to know the science.
No, you're claiming it's
your
a fact,
opinion
like-
is that it's a fact. Well, that doesn't make it a fact.
Yeah, the facts are to know about science. You don't need to know about
you're
the
not the
people.
According to your
arbiter of
opinion.
the fact, are you?
Well,
you can give us your
again, I
opinion
know
on
it's
the facts.
difficult for us. I know it's difficult.
I realise it's difficult for you, Kimo. I do understand.
But we kind of are, in a way, because like I said, we can teach vast amounts
reject your authority.
We can teach vast amounts of people. Yeah, cause that's because you're a zealot. But we can teach vast
No,
amounts
not
of
at
people.
all. I just don't think you've met the burden of proof to demonstrate that your position is valid.
No. You have a
So,
religion.
I'm sorry,
remember?
if you're asking for my opinion on your authority, I'm rejecting it because I don't think you've established
It doesn't matter. You
As
have a
being
religion. That's
said
fine. That's
earlier
fine.
on, to get authority, you need to do shit
that's fine.
actually demonstrable and valuable.
That's
so,
up to you. If
give
you
us
want to
more
be
of your opinion.
If you want to be ignorant to the science, that's up to you. But we show.
I accept that's your opinion. That
You're not
think
letting me
I'm
finish,
ignorant to
Dress.
science.
This is not cool.
Well, no,
Is that a fact or your opinion, Kimo? Because you're throwing it around like it's a fact, like he didn't let you finish. But it sounds to me like that's just your opinion.
I'm trying to be humble about this, Feach. This is the thing. I'm not trying to be like a big head, right? And be like, oh, look at us, we're so smart. I'm just trying to show you the situation that we're in right now, today. Not years ago, today. Today, we're able to show vast amounts of people how to conduct things like science, how to perform tests and things like that. That's today. So, yeah, that's why we're able to speak like this. That's what we're saying. That's a fact. That's what we do. And what we're showing as well is that your idea, is comes under the religious umbrella.
Full opinion.
Yeah, I would say that's my opinion because
all of that was your opinion.
That's what it looks like to me. It seems to me your idea is under the religious umbrella, but whether we can show that to be true or not, is another question.
I accept you're an atheist.
See, I mean, again, you have no understanding, of how things work, and that's what we would have to do is show you
That's a claim, and I think I demonstrably recent times show that I do know some things and I'm wrong about others.
Yeah, like I said, we'll be able to show you that atheism has nothing to do with science.
Never made the claim it did.
Yeah, you brought up atheism.
Why are we back to fucking religion?
Because Druss is,
Kimo's a
driven
religious
by
zealot.
this discussion. That's why he came in. He must have
does-
heard it. Like, oh, religion, let me get in on this.
And he loves projecting that zealotry upon others.
So we're talking science, Russ. Science, not atheism.
Well, then measure a fucking angle or something.
I mean, again, you're not going to be able to measure angles out there.
Or why don't we make a map?
Of course not. That would be ludicrous, wouldn't it?
Well,
Curved.
you've got to know where these
we can collaborate and make a map.
You've got to know where these objects are.
Yeah, we were trying that. Kimo poo-pooed the idea because we're not military. He thinks only the military can make a map.
Well, I'm just
apparently.
trying to save you the hassle, right? That's what we do. We raise awareness and let you know why you will not be able to build a full map, because, there's an elite to prevent people from knowing where they live. Now, you can go and try, but you're not going to be successful.
What's stopping you from putting balloons in the air from high altitude and looking down and then building maps off of that? What's stopping you from doing it that way?
The military shot down Chisholm's balloon when they tried that, Glowbusters.
Yeah, you got to map the entire ice wall, and how are you going to do that?
You could go there.
How are you going to? I just
Circumnavigate Antarctica?
Oh yeah. Sorry, you got an army. Yeah, you got an army with you.
Do you need an army?
I've just been telling you this. This is what we're trying to explain. In order to go to these locations, you need a very big gun.
Why do we need to go there?
Military.
Oh, kimo. That's funny.
Yeah, look, we're just trying to make the situation light because it is a serious one.
It's
You
Kimo's
cannot go there.
opinion. It's Kimo's opinion. You need an army to go to the Antarctic.
Yeah, we're just exaggerating. It's like, well, you might need one, but I'm saying if you think you can go there,
what's within the equator. Let's work out what's within the equator, and then we'll see if we need to even go south of that, or is the
you
idea
can't even go to the
already
North Pole
busted?
curved. North Pole. Who's been to the North Pole?
Don't need to go to the North Pole, Kimo.
Oh, to map out the Earth. Of course, we want to map out everything. Yes.
Well, we can kind of notice that it's like in the middle, in between all of us.
Nah, that's silly. We need to know exactly what's
are not good for flat earthers.
Yeah, we want to know the full land
What
scale.
do you know how to do, Kimo?
For goodness sakes! I mean, look, I want what you want.
Aside from your obvious prowess in big wheel racing and riding your big wheel in space, what else do you know how to do?
I think you're starting to realise how difficult it is. Yeah, figure out where you live because of the things in place to stop us.
It's not difficult.
Yeah, we're having no problems. You seem to be the one that's stuck, making excuses, crying military.
Go on, now where's the map then? Let's have a look.
What kind of map would you like? There's many different things that are all
for
accurate
goodness
to each other.
sakes. We want an entire map of where we live.
Okay, we got one.
Do you want us to show you all at once?
No, because that Antarctica doesn't look like that. Antarctica is a giant ice wall.
How do you know that? That's a claim.
Your opinion.
A stupid, retarded assertion.
That's what you think.
If I showed you a picture of the cliffs of England, I can't remember the specific name for it, but the Dover Cliffs, is that what it is? If I showed you just a picture of that, would it be accurate for me to say that there's a cliff wall around all of England? Would that be accurate?
Look, forget all of that. The water.
No, don't change the subject. Answer my question. Would that be accurate?
That's not irrelevant. That's not relevant. That is irrelevant.
No, it is because you're claiming an ice wall. Because
I said ice wall. Yes. Why did I say ice wall? Because the water needs to be
never answer a
contained.
direct question. Never.
No, of course, because he knows what the answer is.
Yeah, you just derated it. Obviously, you're going on to something else.
I'm interested to know how he knows there's an ice wall there when they haven't mapped it.
He'll never tell you.
I saw a picture of a flat.
Isn't that an interesting point?
Ice wall.
He'll never tell you.
A picture of a long sheet of ice with
it's
people
a
on
nice
top
one,
of
no
the
question.
wall. And his claim is that that's the ice
One
wall.
at
It's
a
like, well, there's
time.
people on top of the wall, then why can't they go beyond it? And he got fucking floored.
Why
are you shitting on Kimo's
mainstream
freedom of
media,
religion to
mainstream
believe
science says that Antarctica has the highest elevation of any continent by far. It effectively is an ice wall.
Do you even understand what that means when they say that?
Yes, I do.
What are they saying specifically?
It means the elevation of the landmass is higher than any other continent by far.
I know. Repeating what you said doesn't find anything. You're just repeating it.
Well, I went slower, so maybe you could catch it this time.
Now tell us what a wall is.
But look, seriously, in all seriousness, now the ice wall has to be there because the water's got to be contained. Otherwise, how is the water going to stay on Earth?
What is a beach or a wall? Let's think long and hard about that.
Think about it, yeah.
You could use forces as
I
well.
came up with gravity. What'd you come up with?
No imaginary things that we've never tested or
It's not
seen.
imaginary.
Like the
Stick to the
imaginary
real
ice
world.
wall?
Stick to the real world. Real world stuff.
To be fair, the person presupposing less is Kimo because in our day-to-day experiences, every day we have water in containers.
Right.
Cool.
Normal.
Cool story. Listen,
Also,
so-
Razor favors his thing more.
I'm going to give a real world example. And Kimo, I need you to follow along, and I'm going to call you out if you try to deviate away.
Don't change the
Would
topic
you
then.
agree? Would you agree that if I hold a cup of water upside down, the open part, towards me, above my head, would you agree that water would fall out?
Not if it's frozen, no.
I will be specific. That's fine. Liquid water in a glass, in a glass, when it's above my head and the open part is towards me. Would you agree that water would come out?
Depends if there's a force acting on it.
No. This is a real world demonstration. You could do it
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, you're talking about when they flip in the plane at the same like.
Hey,
force
hey man,
that the
hey man,
water's falling
I'm
down.
talking, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you want to explain what I'm saying, you be my guest. But I'm
just
trying
did.
to get it out, trying to talk to Kimo about
Yeah,
it.
go on, percent. What is he
Okay, go
trying to
ahead.
say? What's he on about?
He's talking about like the pilot in like a fighter jet or like in a jet where they flip at like a G1 or something like that. It's basically the same force as the water going down, so it stays in the spot.
It's really funny that you think that, but maybe pipe down because I'm not going to mention that at all. This is all going to be real world. We can all do in our backyard.
Oh, just get to your point, Meg. Make your point. Make your point. Make your point.
I am. I need you to answer it. So I have a cup of liquid water, and then it's above my head. The open part's towards me.
I've just
would
told
agree
you
that
it
all the water would
depends.
fall
It
out, right?
depends on the situation.
Oh, he's just gonna flip it around.
Pipe down, buddy.
Come on,
Would you agree that all the water would come out? It's not a difficult fucking question,
I've
Kimo.
just said it depends on the situation.
I gave you all the parameters. I gave you every single parameter.
Well, I don't know. It could be a trick question. I don't know, actually trick question. Just what's the answer?
I'm not trying to trick you. I'm not trying to trick
I
you.
don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know that. Feels like
Oh my
that.
fucking
Go
god!
with my
I'm going to
feelings.
assume that you're not retarded, and
I'll
I'm
go
going
with my
to
feelings. My
press on.
feelings say you're trying to trick me.
when we hold
What's the trick?
when we hold a cup of water above our head with the open part towards us,
Uh-huh.
the water is going to fall out on our head. Obviously, it's not fucking difficult. It's not a gotcha question.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, when you take a glass of water and you spin it around your head, there will be moments when the open part is towards the ground, but the water doesn't come out. Why is that?
Okay, what's your point?
My point is that a force can contain matter.
Okay. So what?
So every time that you bring up the fact that we need a physical container for the atmosphere, for water, for anything,
Yeah.
it's not a necessity to have a physical container in the sense that you're talking about. You can have a force containing matter.
What are you talking about? The
Technically,
water's...
you still require a physical container.
I know. What's the other? I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Because a force can contain matter, whether it's gas, liquid, or solid. A force can contain it. You don't need an encompassing physical
That's
container.
a false analogy, bro. Because in your spinning the cup analogy, you needed the cup for it to be contained. Otherwise, it would just fucked off.
Right.
When did the water fall off? When you spin it
my
around and you
God.
introduce a force?
Veach,
Dude,
help
Because
you
we showed
guys,
when
he's
you don't-
drowning.
By the way,
Where's
what force is that? Is that gravity? No, it's
No.
one that we all agree on.
Veach,
That's
you
verifiable.
guys drowning here. Come and help him.
What do you mean drowning? Because he's talking over me, I'm drowning? I'm letting you know it's centrifugal force when you spin it, but you don't have the centrifugal force when it's above you and it's stationary, right? So without a force, it's going to fall on your head. With a force, it doesn't. Crazy.
Yeah, with a container.
Oh no, this is unbelievable.
No, because the premise is that you have to have a physical container in all sides. You have to have a box. You have
In
to have
all
a sphere.
sides?
You have to have a physical container.
A box?
You don't
Who said
need a
anything about a
physical
box? What are you
container.
talking about?
Forces are demonstrably good enough.
Did I
to
say a
contain
box?
Give an example, Schema. Calm down.
No, you calm down. Okay, water.
Your example is found wanting, bro.
Definitely.
No, it isn't.
Because your whole premise
All
is
I'm
that
proving,
it's a force
all,
alone. The container isn't necessary.
all I'm proving is that when people say you have to have a physical container 100% of the time, you must. It's a requirement. All I'm doing is pointing out that that's wrong. You
No,
don't
but you did that.
need a
You
physical
did that
container.
badly because you didn't point out it was wrong. You pointed out that you had a bad analogy because you're in your analogy. You require a container.
Okay, so now that it's all clear, would you
So
acknowledge
demonstrate
that?
on a smaller scale without a container.
Would you acknowledge that a force can act as if it's a container, or at least have the properties of a container?
You gotta have to be more specific, man. Are we talking about water?
I'm talking about any matter, as I said.
Specificity,
gas, liquid, solid.
specificity. Bio, be more specific.
Yeah, honestly, in terms of water, you need a container.
I told you the trick question, didn't
We-
I? I said it was
you
a
need-
trick question.
I just said forces can act as the properties of a container, as we just showed with the centrifugal force.
No,
So wouldn't
'cause
you
you don't have
agree?
the cup. Without
Wouldn't
the
you
cup,
agree that
it would
a
just-
physical container isn't always required?
Bro, I'm telling you, with centrifugal force, you require the container. If you didn't have a cup, the stuff would just like sprayed out. Centrifugal force.
What I'm saying is you
Stop
don't need a
talking about
physical
that.
container from all sides. A force can have the properties of a container.
Oh, now it's all sides.
It's always been all sides. You guys are the ones made it
Come
all
on.
sides. Don't be a goofball.
No, since when do we need?
Yes, it's always been all
Since when does the
sides.
top of a cup require a lid?
You've
to
always
hold
had to
water?
have it be all sides. Don't be
Because the underlying issue
Context was a
is
container for water.
One
You
at
know
a
that?
time, please.
The underlying issue is the atmosphere,
Thank
and
you,
then the
thank you.
claim
What
of the
up?
vacuum next
Bio,
to it.
you're
So
getting
have
too
to have
excited
a
here.
more physical
Yeah, man, shift the
container.
goalpost
You
a bit more.
don't require that. That's the point.
Bio, you can't just steamroll conversations like this. Veach is here to
I've been
help.
steamrolled by 3 people.
You
in the
just
last 5
steamrolled me now.
Can
Oh, he
some of
does.
you guys make room for Wham or to come in and out troll you?
Go, Whammer, go.
You've got to calm
Go,
down,
Whammer,
Bio,
go.
especially when your side to help you out.
that.
All right.
With all that said, Kimo, wouldn't you agree that a force can have the properties of a container in the context of
Can
the dome, atmosphere, liquid, stuff like that? It can have the properties of a container.
I mean, again, I've never. What are we seeing?
I don't think he substantiated that at all.
I don't think so either. I'm trying to think if his situation. No, I don't think that's happened. Bio, no, not that we know of. No.
So the between the air, or not between the air, but between the top of the glass there, when it's upside down, water falls out. When you introduce centrifugal force, water doesn't fall out. So are you denying that that is a property of a container, that the force is keeping the water in?
No, I'm saying the container's keeping the water in.
No, we just proved that without spinning it around. Just the container and water.
Mm.
When it's upside down, it falls out. So there is
Yeah.
a property in which that the container is not containing the water. But when you introduce the force, we now keep the water in.
Yeah, so you're applying.
Property
You're
of a
applying.
container.
Okay, so you're
When you
applying.
apply the force, you introduce how the container's keeping it in. Because if it was just the force alone, it would be gone. Okay? If it's the cup alone, upside down, then the water's gone.
But you would agree that you can have a force acting on matter in a manner of a container.
No, I would not. If it's possible, you have not shown it.
Well, I just did.
You really didn't. And I don't know how you're not wrapping your head around this.
I know you're projecting it because I don't understand either. Because I think that's pretty clear.
What part don't you get? You can do this is a cocktail trick that they do at bars. They put an olive on the table and then they use a glass container to swirl the olive up into the inside till it's rotating, and then they turn it upside down. You've never done that before? It's an easy experiment.
Not without the container, you can't.
Well, no fucking shit, Sherlock. I said there was a container involved.
Try to tell that to this guy.
But it's not required on all sides. That's the point
We
here.
didn't
is
say
that
all sides,
The claim,
man.
the claim is that you
you're
have
the
to have a
goalpost.
container on all sides.
When you say
That's
container,
the
you say
claim.
all sides percent.
I'm only disproving that point.
Well, no one made that point, so
you're not.
I said he was going to do this, didn't I? I said he's going to derail, trick questions.
Go down the number of times you said it, and like about 74, I just stopped counting.
Yeah, I did say I've called it beforehand. Yeah, that's right.
100%, Kimo, not you.
But yeah, the water here.
Oh, four sides of the container. You're constantly going on about that.
About the container. Yeah, I mean the water's got to be contained. Yeah.
All you talk.
Can I ask
honestly.
a tangential question? Percent.
What's
if
up?
We got if we got some big zombie dragon to blow a hole in this ice wall, where would all the water go?
Scott Mackey.
I don't know, bro.
Do you think the oceans would drain off into something?
I don't know, because I don't know how wide Antarctica is, right? I don't know if it's never ending. I don't know if there's an edge. I can only.
Good to you, Scott.
I can only
Flat
guess.
Earth 2020. I don't know.
So we don't really need a wall, then. We just need something a little bit higher than the oceans.
Yeah, but then play that out, right? Because you still have this.
No, I have.
Yeah, but you still have the atmosphere, right? So you would need something that could contain the atmosphere as well. Because if it doesn't contain the atmosphere, then
The atmosphere now?
Bob doesn't need to be there.
No. It needs to be high enough to contain
at some
But
point,
doesn't need a top, right? Just like you said, it doesn't need a container on all sides to be a container. So top can be missing, right?
Technically, yeah, if it's high enough, you don't necessarily need a top.
Cool, no top.
But at some point, does this dome not have to hit this perpetual ice wall or this whatever's on the edge?
What dome?
Whatever the firmament stuff that's holding in all the gas that you keep saying has to be pressurized.
I just said
Doesn't this
technically
have-
you don't need a dome. You don't need a ceiling as
But
long
we
as the
don't-
walls large
But
enough.
what about for the gas stuff? I know I'm throwing in the other gas.
Yeah,
stuff
that is
that's
the
always
gas
talked
stuff.
about.
Gas still observes relative density, so if the wall is high enough, you don't technically need a ceiling.
But we know the wall's not that high, right?
You don't know shit.
I agree. That's the most honest thing you've ever said. I agree.
Someone else they don't know shit.
But
yeah, we don't know anything about Antarctica. We're not allowed to go there. We don't know what's beyond.
You don't know anything.
What keeps the
we
least air from escaping into
we
space?
can look at empirical evidence and come to conclusions. You say I don't know.
What empirical evidence, bro?
The empirical evidence of the world
That's
we
what I
live
thought.
on, or are you talking about the empirical evidence of the ice wall that no one has seen, but you just conject about?
Dude, all I said, effectively, Antarctica, by the mainstream media, is an ice wall. In the fact that it's, like, you know, keeping all the waters in because it's the highest continent in terms of landmass.
No.
Not by the mainstream media.
You added in. You added in, you disingenuous fucking cunt.
What?
Not by the mainstream
you added
media.
Keeping the waters in.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's how
and
the
also the
context of the
highest.
conversation curved.
Yeah, I think the
You added
Tibetan.
that.
I think the Tibetan plateau is the highest contiguous landmass on Earth, isn't it?
Either way, it doesn't matter. Nobody in the mainstream is trying to portray it the way that Pocontrol is.
Nobody in the mainstream says that the continent of Antarctica has the highest elevation.
Now,
Really?
hang on. You
Is
can't
that the
call it a
part I
continent,
said
can
you added? No.
How can
They're
you
not
call
calling it a
in
wall, are
because
they?
it's
The
Can you let
highest
Kurt
elevation.
finish his point because it's really on point, please? Sorry,
how can you call it a continent?
Sorry, Curved.
It's all right. He won't answer.
I know.
He'll avoid it like the plague because
What
he
was the
knows
question?
fuck.
I'll answer anything. I ain't scared.
You've already avoided it. Don't act like you don't know what it is. You've already deflected from it and lied.
All you did was yell, you added in, you added in.
What did you add in?
Yeah.
What did I add in? That it holds the
I
water
already
in
said
at the highest elevation?
Maybe if you weren't so busy trying to talk over everybody all the time because you
Man,
can't
stop, like,
stand to listen to the goddamn answer like you're trying to do right now, you
you're
would have
stop being
heard
dramatic.
when I already told you the part about keeping the water in.
Yeah, what about it?
You added it.
You
The context
asked
of the conversation
I
was
answered that question,
Oh my
and then you
lord.
asked, "Oh, what about it?" That was
Curved.
the answer to the question you just asked.
Curved. How did Antarctica come into play? Like, what is the context of this
Do
conversation?
you not have any clue why people
No, you don't have a clue.
want to
You don't have a
snap
clue,
your
'cause it
fucking
came
neck
into
if they got a hold of you?
This
Why is
conversation
it
started by
frustrating
saying
you?
that by them talking about Antarctica being an ice wall, keeping the water in. So what the fuck are you on about?
You said keeping the waters in.
Yeah, mainstream doesn't say that.
Yeah, the mainstream says
did.
it's the highest elevation.
But you
continent.
did. Again, but you did. See, I don't care about the flat earth aspect of this. I care about the fucking blatant and utter dishonesty of this lying
Man.
cunt.
Nah, you just
You need to
tripping.
take a
You're
break
tripping
now.
hard.
Been going on for
What do you
2
think,
years straight.
Scott?
I've seen it
Mackie?
Yeah.
What do you think of this guy?
I think maybe you just jumped in and you didn't realize that the conversation started with Antarctica being the
I
ice wall
think
keeping the
maybe
water in.
you don't know how long I've been listening, and you
Well, I
don't
think
know what
maybe
I
you need to
heard,
listen better.
and you don't know better than to try to even make any conjecture about what I've heard.
That's fine, man. You need to listen better though.
I know that you've heard Curved.
Percent. You said a second ago that you would answer any question, right?
Yeah, as
All
honestly
right,
as I can.
I'll give you a really easy one.
Yeah.
Really, really easy one. Just answer yes or no.
Oh, yes
Do you
or
believe do you believe there are flights from Sydney to Santiago that complete in about 9 hours nonstop? Yes or
You already
no?
asked me like a variant of this yesterday. And you asked me
I know.
if like you were
And you
able
didn't
to
answer
book it.
yes or no.
Black.
No,
And
I
see,
did. You asked me if I was able to book it and stuff like
Also,
that, like just like any other flight.
Do
Would I
you
reasonably think? Oh,
wait a
Lord.
second, Percent. You just said a second ago you would answer the question.
We saw
I
the
asked the
video. It's
question.
black.
You
5
did
hours
not
of it.
answer it.
I'll answer. Don't worry.
Okay, answer
I'm just
it.
refreshing. I'm refreshing your memory. You asked me
No,
a
no,
variant
just
of this
answer-
question.
just answer
You
the
asked.
question.
I will. You asked if
No, you
you can
won't.
like book it like any other question, any other flight online or something like that. And,
That's not what
you
I
know,
asked.
Pay,
I asked, do
pay,
these
charge
flights-
it to your credit card or whatever.
I
Did
did
you-
not ask. I did not say anything about. I didn't. Don't tell me what I did because I never said anything along those lines.
Okay, well, do you remember
Just
my
the
answer when you
question.
asked that?
I never asked it. Do those flights exist?
You did. Yes, you did.
He's not going to.
Oh, wow.
You're not going to answer, are you?
You asked me that, and you said, "Oh, I have a lot of respect for you now because you answered that question honestly." You don't remember that at all?
Can you just
I'm
answer?
sorry. You might have said. Okay, what was your answer? You don't know?
You asked me if I could book it online, just like any other flight.
That was actually me that said that to you, because I said, "Do you think it's more likely or not?" And you said, "Well, yeah, I can't say it's not, it's not unlikely, or it seems more likely than not." And I said, "Thanks, that's a really honest answer." That was me that said that, not the other dude.
Oh, sorry, it's the same question. My bad. I apologize then for that confusion. Anyways, go ahead.
Does it again,
sir? Yes or no?
Yeah, if I could book it online, and you get like a ticket and a boarding pass and stuff, 100%, I would think it would be a valid flight.
But do you think that's possible?
Do I think what's possible?
Do you think it's likely that that is true? Do you think that those flights exist? Do you believe that thousands of people have actually taken those flights?
Well, you're gonna have to be specific. What flight are we talking about?
What's a flight?
Do you believe that? Okay. Do you believe there's at least one person who has taken a flight from Santiago or for Sydney, either way, ever nonstop? Do you believe that?
I honestly don't know, but I would think so.
I don't. 5 hours blacked out. No one can see anything.
No one can prove that. Oh, that's well claimed.
How can
all those thousands of people that took that flight, those are paid actors then, right?
You don't have thousands of people.
For kind of answering.
The customers that took those
You
flights.
don't know the customers.
I mean, I truly don't know. So I can only.
You can't just say customers.
Yeah.
The one guy who
No, this is where I think Kosho's right. You sound so much like you're faking that answer. You're kind of laughing under your breath right there, and that just. I think
it
Kosho
still
might
is
be
kind
right.
of
I think
funny
you might
either
just
way.
be punking us.
It's kind of a weird question. Do you believe it happens? I don't know.
It's not a weird
I can't
question.
say
It's
if
a
like,
question that
possible,
the
I
entire reasonable world will just say, "Of course, there's flights."
Right.
Sheesh, what a stupid fucking
Have
question.
you ever taken a flight? Have you ever
Yes.
taken a flight?
without looking into it to see if
There
they even
you go.
offer
You
flights?
just
I
answer
wouldn't know.
anything. I'm not scared. I'll answer anything. That was the-
Percent. Have you ever taken a flight from Atlanta to LA?
Atlanta to LA. I don't.
Have you ever taken that flight yourself?
I don't think.
Ask him if you ever
Atlanta.
taken a flight. Period, dude.
Okay.
Have you ever?
So
have you
you've
ever
never
sailed
taken
on a
that
ship?
flight. Do you think that flight does exist that people take every day? Do you think Atlanta to LA one way?
Yeah.
Or yeah. So why is it easy for you to say that with no proof than Santiago to Sydney? Why make the distinction?
Because Atlanta to those are two major cities in the U.S. In the continental U.S. You would expect that those flights happen regularly.
Have you been to Atlanta or LA?
Yeah. I haven't
So at
flown
least you-
from Atlanta to LA or LA to Atlanta, but I've been to both cities.
Okay, Atlanta to Madrid.
Yeah. At what point
Atlanta to
does the
London.
main
New
city
York to
does it
London.
become incredulous to believe that a flight
New York,
exists?
London, definitely. Because,
Especially
it's
if you can book the
transatlantic.
flight.
Have you taken that flight?
Between New
Madrid-
York, London,
directly
and
to Madrid,
Santiago to Sydney.
probably. New York is like
What's
a
the
major hub,
difference?
so. Anyways,
Yeah, new. Oh Jesus Christ! Sydney's like a major hub in Australia. Santiago's like the
A major
capital.
hub.
of Australia.
Sydney's bigger than Atlanta.
This is where they fly
I
to.
think
and from.
Santiago is too.
I would have to
You're
actually look up
very
if there's a
lame
direct flight
case
from Santiago,
for a
Chile to
difference
Sydney,
here.
Australia. I'd have to check if there's a direct flight. So I don't know.
We posted the link. Sam showed you images of it yesterday. I provided you with 2 travel blogs, 1 review.
No. Don't get it
and
twisted.
booking form.
Yo, when you asked me this question, I had just it was really quick. I wasn't part of the conversation.
No, I mean
talking to someone
that's
else, and you asked me that quick
that's
question.
fair point
so-
percentage. I can't
see it.
honestly say I remember if I directed it specifically at you or someone else.
No worries, but I didn't see any kind of
That's right.
information about flight tickets or anything yesterday.
It's not hard to get hold of. It'll take you about 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, we're not asking you about flights to Turbagistan to Tuflakabog. I mean, these are 2 actual well-known cities with an actual flight that you can book a ticket for right now if you wanted to.
And if that's the case, then I reasonably I think that it's possible. It's definitely probably very likely that it's a real flight. If I can actually book the ticket, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt.
Do you
are
have any
more honest-
idea what
you are more
is in
honest
you
than
that causes you to
anywhere.
doubt it at all, though? Do you know where that comes from?
skepticism.
He can't be totally sure. Look, there's a
Why would I
difference
believe
between
something
being
just for
totally
no
sure
reason?
and trying to form a realistic opinion.
Yeah, for things that I don't know, I'm skeptical. I need to see some sort of evidence to make me believe it.
Right, but you've been on flights before. There's no real
Of
reason.
course,
to be
I've been on flights before.
See, you're still operating from a
There's no reason to be
pre-assumption
skeptical of
that all these people have
Unless-
taken this flight,
The
therefore
most
it's real.
skepticism I
You
would have
really
is
don't
if
know
it was
that.
a flight to a city I've never heard before. I'd be like,
If
huh,
even
now
one
look at that.
person took that flight, that's enough.
Well, bring them forward. Let's see the evidence. It should be there, right? Thousands of times, millions of times, and there should be millions of evidence out there. Pretty simple.
Documented it.
It has already been presented to you.
That's not
you
good enough
lying
evidence.
bastard.
Screenshots in the chat. You can go ahead and go
Listen
and
to
look at those
that.
and get
Sharonism documented this.
I couldn't care less who documented it.
Sharonism was faking it.
Yeah, hey,
Hey,
Sheridanism also
If you care less who
documented that we live on a
documented it,
globe.
Then why are you asking for proof? What is the proof you're looking for then? Do you have to actually take the flight
You
yourself?
need a
to prove it?
continuous flight where you can
Seems
actually
like
see
that's the
something, not
only-
5 hours of
the guys in the
blackout.
chat. I don't get why the guys in the chat are posting flights that have 2 stops, 3 stops.
Yeah, these guys don't know what they're
Isn't
doing.
Sean
the
G.
direct flight?
They got 20 stops, whatever. It's
Let's not get sidetracked.
Look up QF27 and QF28.
Just look at the two flights there, mate. Compare them both, study that a little bit, and come to your conclusion.
Similar flight times.
Mm-hmm.
Sean G.
Well,
Post QF27 and QF28, not those.
The difference in lengths of those two red lines is like one of those illusions. Is that your point?
no delusion.
Yeah, that's a conclusion you must come to, I suppose.
Delusional to think we're
It's
just
like the
BSing.
chessboard or checkerboard with the gray, light gray and dark gray squares with the green cylinder on it. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh yeah, that changed color, that looked like one color when they were actually another. I'm with you.
God damn, that made me so angry the first time I saw that.
So Whammer,
There's
why
no
do you find it
fucking way
reasonable?
that's that color.
Let's start, Mackie. What's up?
Why do you find it reasonable to doubt this particular claim?
Well, like I said, 5 hours blacked out, no real substantive evidence. Then yeah, therefore it's to be doubted. It's pretty simple.
Now, independent of the video, you got Qantas Airlines. I know
Qantas,
they're
what, you mean the
saying
anagram for satanic? I don't know.
Hey, Whammer,
That's the dumbest thing to say ever.
So you really think that
Hey
that
man, I'm
is a
just
good reason?
repeating what's out there. Just like
But
you
you
are.
really, but you personally really think
Me
that's a
personally,
good
what
way
do I
for
really
you to
think?
approach the world?
Do you think
that
all of the hundreds of people
reject
on that flight are paid
Qantas
actors?
because there's an
Paid
anagram.
actors? When did I ever say they're paid actors?
It's the only way that you can make that lie work.
No, you're presuming thousands of people have taken the flight to begin with.
One reviewer reviews the flight, and they are in there with the flight with hundreds of other people.
What reviewer?
That was already presented to
What,
you
a
long time
review on
ago.
the internet somewhere? That's a simple script.
And so that reviewer and all the other passengers that were taken in photos
We don't
during
know
that flight
anything
are
about
paid
that reviewer.
actors. Are you saying that all of those people
We
are
don't
paid
know anything
actors?
about the reviewer.
Hey, Whammer, can you
I'll
see
just
line
pay.
a little bit more, buddy? I mean, come on.
Hate to break it to you.
Whammer.
Yay, delusion.
Stop being disingenuous.
Where you're beginning from is from a standpoint of ignorance, to be quite honest. When you're pre-assuming many things that we can't totally validate, that's ignorance.
What is it about the way Whammer speaks that makes anyone think he might
Incredulity,
possibly
you guys like to
be
say, right?
serious?
You don't think he's serious, Curved? I think he's seriously deluded.
Hell
I think he's
no.
real.
This dude gets off on annoying people. He loves it.
This is just
He's
a topic we're talking
goddamn
about it, and I'd say
troll.
there's reason to suspect something's afoot.
It's why
Your reason for
everybody
suspecting
when
that
they're
something is
talking to
afoot
him.
is because you want the Earth to be flat. That's the
That's
only
okay.
reason.
See, another pre-assumption.
He
Another
doesn't
weakness,
listen.
another false logic.
He's got a bad script.
False logic isn't my issue. That's your issue.
Whammer, what reason do you have? You said we have reason to believe.
What's the basis of your suspicions, Whammer?
Right.
Huh?
What reason is that?
Alone says
What's the
troll.
Hey,
basis
look, we
of
just
your
simply want some simple evidence. We're not asking too much. I mean, if
Do you
it's
have
that
any?
simple, then surely it should be there. However, you
Whammer,
guys
if
are
there's
saying
no
everything
full-
else besides providing the actual proof.
Wham, if there's no full video of Chicago O'Hare to ATL, do you assume that flight is fake?
Chicago to ATL. What are you talking about? We're talking about Sydney to fucking what was it? South America, right?
Sure, but if you take any flight and say there's no full video for this flight, do you then assume that that flight is fake, even if it's just Chicago to ATL?
We're not talking about that.
Yes, we are. We're talking about you assuming a flight is fake because there's no full video.
I would say there are full videos for almost every flight.
Chicago to ATL?
Yeah, most likely.
I would have said.
Go for it.
I would have said if it doesn't
No,
work.
no, that's not for me to establish.
You're assuming that flights are fake with no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, Jolly. I would have said that. I would have said that flight, Jolly. That flight, Jolly, would be questionable if on a flat Earth the countries would need you to refuel. So any flight that you say exists, and if you look at the
So a flight is only unreasonable if it doesn't work on a flat Earth.
Yeah, if it doesn't work and you have to refuel, and it proves that it only works on the
everything. But when it comes to a flight from Chicago to Atlanta, it's just I'm pretty sure it's all right.
You got to be. Yeah, you got to be careful about these
refueling.
flights. So it's not about just
the dumbest shit I've heard. I'm out.
Yeah. It's not about just doubting the flight. You got to look at the flight, look at the path, and say, would that work on a flat plane or on a ball? You got to go here, there, and everywhere. And you think, okay, where's the evidence of that flight? That's how it works.
So what you're saying is that you have to presuppose your own flat Earth, and if it doesn't work, you reject it instantly. Is that what you're saying?
No, I said.
Because we're not doubting the mate. Understand, we're doubting you.
No, like I said, so that distance you would have to refuel. It's too far. But
Based on who? Based on what?
Based on the distance that we have.
No. What is that distance, and what is the fuel capability of typical airliners? Do the math.
Hang on.
Is it too much, or is it not enough? Is it?
Yeah.
It's not far enough, Spurs.
When you look at the flat
You're wrong.
Earth,
it's not far enough.
When you look at the projection, it doesn't work without refueling. That's the point.
Okay. And I really don't want anyone to interrupt because this is going to be very specific. You're making the claim that it's not possible. Explain.
Jesus Christ.
This is going to work.
Kimo, you made the claim that it's not possible. I need you to explain how that's not possible.
Yeah. This is just like AA. It works if you work it.
I guess he's muted because I won't make
You destroyed him by a good job, mate.
Sorry, one sec. I was just run to the kitchen. Yeah, let me get you.
You got wrecked, Kimo.
Yeah, let me get.
Curved was channeling Missy Elliott there for a second.
What? Missy Elliott? What are you talking about?
You're talking about working it.
No, that's an AA thing. It works if you work it. I know what you're talking about now.
Satanic over
Go
Antarctica.
flip it and
Let's
reverse
take a
it
look.
yourself. I'm not on about that.
Let's take a look. Satanic over Antarctica. Hold on. And what is this happenstance that Qantas just somehow turns into satanic?
Does it though?
You tell me.
No, you're the one making the claim.
That was
What do
the
you
plan
mean?
from
Take
the
a look
start.
at it.
When-
S-A-N.
That was the
S-A-T-A-N.
plan from the start.
Satan Q.
Yeah,
Satanic.
Santa. Yeah, Santa. Yeah, Santa Claus
Oh,
with the Q.
Satan.
Yeah. What kind of connections do you want?
Satan. S-A-T-A-N. There it
Well,
is.
that's
The
your
anagram.
interpretation. My interpretation is Santa Claus, and then
The
the Claus has a Q
anagram's
instead
pretty
of a C.
simple. What are you
Santa Claus.
talking about?
Santa Claus.
Santa is QAnon.
Well,
There you go.
hey, what can I tell you?
Wait a minute.
Satan is in there.
Have a look in the text chat, mate. I've posted it. That's they picked that name.
Santa Q. Yeah, it is very interesting. Something's going on there, no doubt.
It would make a lot of sense. He's got all year to do those Q drops. Not doing anything makes a lot of sense. Santa is Q.
You're big on Q, aren't you, Jim?
I do like Q, yeah.
Remember, you were foaming at the mouth over
It's
Q.
completely mental. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. It has crazier claims than flat Earth. But the difference is, if someone says Antarctica is an ice ring, it's pretty difficult to check that. But if someone in Q says Hillary Clinton's been arrested, that's fairly easy to check. Or,
You're not a body double of Hillary
Tom
Clinton.
Cruise said this, or whatever it may be. Not Tom Cruise, Mel Gibson.
What about these doubles we see everywhere of Clinton? What's that other, the new half-black lady that's VP now? There's some doubles out there racing around.
I retract all my criticisms of Whammer. He's obviously sincere.
Darn.
Yeah, I haven't figured it out yet, to be honest.
Yeah, I saw myself in Reckless Ben. See,
Well, 7 billion
people,
people,
and such a gobby twat I am.
7 billion people, and you're not going to have anybody that looks like one another.
7 billion people. You love those numbers, huh? Talking about one flight that can't be validated. It really can't be.
Well, it can be.
We're specifically asking about one flight, and you guys love to draw every other comparison to try to discredit the question. But
You
hey,
said
you can't.
I'm sorry. You were saying that Hillary has a body double and shit, and you thought that was interesting. I'm like, wow, and 7 billion people, somebody looks like someone. Wow, that's amazing.
No, I'm talking about comes out and represents her. But well, that's besides the point. Let's get back to the one flight.
Right. So the reason why other flights are brought up is that your level of
no,
the evidence that you
My
need to believe
level.
that this flight exists is so much higher than your requirement for evidence of other flights. That's what it's pointing out, is that you're inconsistent.
We're not
on
talking
evidence
about other
required.
flights, though, are we?
No, but that's what we're pointing out. Your requirements are inconsistent based
We're
on other
simply
flights.
not talking about other flights. We don't care about the other flights.
You should, because you need to uphold that same standard to the same discussions. If you
talking
doubt
about one
that flight, if you doubt that flight because there's not a nonstop video of it, then it leads us to believe that you would doubt other flights because there's not nonstop footage.
You can draw those assumptions. That's fine, but that's not the
Nobody
case.
flies from New York to Miami. Just never happens.
I've never
You can draw these assumptions, but remember, we're getting away from the first flight. We don't really care about the other flights. Remember, guys, this isn't about every other flight.
We're ensuring that you're consistent, and when you're
No, you're
inconsistent,
not. You're actually
your argument falls
misleading
apart.
from the conversation at hand.
Now, you need to be.
Yeah, you are. So let's talk about the only flight that's actually in contention, and that's Sydney to somewhere in Brazil, right? Well, where is it in Brazil?
Santiago, Chile.
Santiago, Chile. Okay.
So you're not willing to make a comparison to a similar flight in another part of the world to that?
Again, it's irrelevant.
Why?
Just because you say it's irrelevant doesn't mean that it is.
We're actually
just
not really
trying to
interested in
understand
that. We're simply
your
interested in
standard.
this flight.
Wait, why is it irrelevant?
Because that's not what we're looking for. We're simply looking at Sydney to Santiago. It's very simple.
Yeah, but the other flight's the same.
You can
Almost-
go on and on about this. I just told you it's irrelevant.
You can go on and on about it.
What
And you're
Emma
wrong.
is saying is that if you drive to the street corner to buy milk and bread, and then you also drive a mile away to a park, they're not the same thing. You can only say you're talking about driving to the park or only talking about driving to the grocery store, but you can't compare the two.
Yeah.
Of course you can.
You can if you want, but regardless, we're simply
I
talking
do.
about
I
the one
want
flight.
to.
We
I want
can
to,
if
and
we
I do.
want. Well, we do want to, Whammer, because
Go
they're
ahead,
the
then.
exact same thing.
Go ahead. That doesn't concern me though.
Oh, well, that's where your block is, mate.
No.
It's a bad faith argument.
That's exactly where your block is. You blocked right there. That's your
Again,
block.
look,
It's
we're
a
talking
deliberate
about Santiago to Sydney. How many times?
It's a deliberate block that you put up so you don't have to see that you're wrong.
Look, if there's a cover up at hand, cover at a foot, then yeah, these types of things can be misleading. But look, we're simply asking for one specific flight.
Yep. And you're blocked.
And that's the only flight that you hold this standard against.
Oh,
That's
no, I'm
the
sure
problem.
there's
You're
some other flight
inconsistent.
I'm not aware of at the moment, but that's the flight right now.
But
So
again,
what
we
would
could
you
go over
use?
any flight, and what you would say is what I assume, and I'll make it very clear. I'm assuming that any northern hemisphere flights you'll have no problem with, whether you've been on it or not, whether there's video evidence or not. I assume you'd have no problem. But when it comes to the southern hemisphere, I assume that you have all types of extremely high standards.
Stop
That's my
assuming.
assumption. Would you disagree with my assumption? Again, it is an assumption. Would you disagree with it?
I think it's fair enough for you to have those assumptions, but
agree.
it's irrelevant.
No, and that's all I needed. I appreciate the
Fair enough.
non-disagreement to that assumption.
I just want to talk about the one flight that these guys are talking about.
I mean, you keep saying that, but what are we waiting for?
We're waiting for the non-blacked out 5 hours of footage over that fucking flight.
Why do you need 5 hours of footage in order to verify it exists?
And can you talk
Get
about
to
it
work.
without
You got
blowing
work
on
to
your
do.
mic? Your mac and cheese is too hot for you.
You got work to do.
Again, why is that the only standard of evidence that you'll accept?
I'm sure there's other standards.
Okay, well, tell us one.
You can go ahead. You let me know.
He's got a deliberate block. That's what he's
No one's-
trying to put there.
So it's only a standard of evidence that you will accept. The rest of the thinking world.
Yeah, we got it. Give me 1 second. I need a drink.
Flight times, but not you. You're okay with flight times except for this flight.
Well, most
You
likely
thought
that's
your
the
stand.
hemisphere.
Nidhogg, who was that you were talking to? Who was getting a drink?
I think it's Wham. I think it's Whammer. It sounds like Whammer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is.
You have no evidence. There is none. And then here's a picture. Well, that doesn't count because that's a picture.
I mean, this kid legit will say with a straight face that if you get on a flight at Sydney and you get off the flight in Santiago, you didn't actually fly from Sydney to Santiago. There's no proof.
I'm still interested in Kimo's claim of impossibility of that flight.
Yeah, because they set up a little makeshift, like a Disneyland city of Santiago that looks just like it.
No,
And
there's
the
no.
people are all paid actors. That's what didn't it?
The flight time's still the same.
Kimo said he's got paid actors that speak Spanish, and the town set up just like the real Santiago, and you don't know.
Oh, come on. We all know there's no flights over the Pacific.
There's no proof. You're in Santiago. It just
We all
gets
know
better.
there's no flights over the Pacific Ocean.
What
No
was that?
flights over the Pacific. How do you fly into Hawaii?
There's no flight over the Pacific. Oh, nobody get that reference? Oh, man.
There's no flights over the Pacific? Funny, I've actually flown over the Pacific before. Have you?
Oh, my God. You don't remember?
Flown over the Pacific?
Is he talking to himself or is he talking to us?
Anybody remember flat water? Or
Yeah, I think he's trying to make a joke.
Tumor. He's got a brain tumor that manifests itself in complete stupidity. That's okay.
Sounds like a split personality
Remember
yelling at himself, telling him that no.
nobody remember Flatwater went in here claiming there's no flights over the fucking Pacific?
Yeah, I remember that. That was funny.
Jesus, that guy's went over your.
No. You can't fly over the Pacific. You can't do it. It just can't be done. Ah! It's like that little cartoon character everyone always posts in the chat. The guy with the crazy, distorted face and head. That's what you look like. That's what you look like when you talk, Pyro.
Zedek, please get a hold of yourself, sir.
I can't. I'm all riled up. My children aren't here. I can't beat him right now. So.
I'd like to take a second to congratulate Bumper for his excellent performance in the poll earlier. Kudos to you, Bumper.
No.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Oh, good. I can't hear you. Your volume's too low.
Whatever.
Holy fuck, what did I walk back in on?
He just mad because I remind him of his son that, or something.
To a shit show.
His brother, his uncle, or his son that has outpaced him.
Well, if I ever come up with anything to say to you, I'll say it to your wife when I'm done with her and send her back to you.
Oh, that's
She
okay.
doesn't want the small penis.
She wants that little dick gangster.
Curved is his name.
I didn't really hear what you said, Bumper, but I got the gist of it.
Want to hear a funny side joke when I was in jail?
No.
The trick was to win the bet of noodles, because everyone throws their noodles in the thing. The first guy to get her girl to be fucking doing herself on the phone and to call him a little big gangster and be serious about it wins the pot. I never won the pot.
All right, I'd rather hear from Whammer, to be quite honest with you.
Are you sure it's noodles and not soggy biscuits?
Where's Kimo?
Noodles and cheesies.
I'll be back. I've just got to do something. I'll be back in a short while. Yeah.
Hurry back.
Thanks for the threat, Kimo.
I like Kimo. He's good stuff.
Are you really married, Whammer?
Am I married?
Yeah.
Oh, it's none of your business now, is it?
Okay.
You know the Nunya? Nunya?
Yeah, he just doesn't want to give away ammunition.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know if someone would marry a guy like that, if he's real, if he's just faking it here.
It's true. I don't want to give away ammunition.
Jeremy's married with a kid, so
maybe he is faking it. All right.
As far as you're concerned, I have nothing. I am nothing. My name is the Whammer, and that is that.
actually, I think Whammer sounds like Brenda, if I wasn't mistaken.
Don't get carried away now.
You're one and the same character. They just changed the microphone or something.
Good old Brenda.
They did
You better
realize
think
in
twice
an act.
before listening to it.
Gets the resemblance between them
Purpose.
two? Just me?
No, they
I'm
sound
a
exactly
man.
the same.
I'm a man.
Like I have to listen to what they're saying to tell whether it's Brenda or Whammer.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, so I don't think Brenda would be too happy to hear these things from you.
Well, I don't know.
It's supposed friends.
It's trans Indian, so I don't think it matters.
Trans what?
Gendering, so I don't think it matters.
If you think I'm transgender, then my friend, you are fucking lost.
Oh, I don't know what you are, but I just
I thought you said trans Indian.
I probably did. I don't fucking know.
Transferring to be an Indian? What?
Trans Indian. I don't whatever.
What the fuck are you then?
What, me? I'm
Yeah,
male.
yeah. I could say you sound like a tranny.
I mean, you
I know you got some
could,
buff
but
chick
I
over there with a
I
low
don't.
voice.
I mean, I've got some testosterone, so
You sound like a chick, dude.
yeah. Okay.
You have 5 hours of video footage.
Hey,
to prove
you know
you're a
what?
man?
I wasn't trying to be all offensive or anything, but it just to me you sound like Brenda. I can't. I'm sorry.
Well, that's fine if you think I sound like Brenda.
We all
However, I
sound
can
like
tell you-
somebody though.
I can tell you one thing, that you are very wrong.
You do both kind of share that breathy, airy kind of voice.
But me and Brenda?
Yeah.
And you guys don't like Brenda so much, huh?
I
You guys are
I-
sexist,
I-
racist,
Maybe you have a breathy, airy voice. If you take that
white
to
supremacist.
criticism, then sure. But I'm just saying that's how this other dude mistakes
You're
you
gonna
for him.
This channel shut down. You keep talking about transgenders. like
Everyone
that.
vote.
But where would you go if this channel got shut down?
I'll vote for myself. I'll give myself a trainee voice.
You just got to get a deep voice.
You can't offend me, guys. There's nothing you can say. At the end of the day, you motherfuckers are pixels, and I can just log off. I don't get offended
That's
like
true.
Kurt.
You can log off.
Did you just call me a simulation?
Yeah.
Who did call you a pixel?
Yep. Pixels on the screen to
So
me.
you're just
with
a line of
voices.
code, are you?
Pixels with voices. Yep.
If you were a 2D animated pixel character, what would be the offensive term?
A line of code.
I mean, is it a joke? I don't know.
No, it is like half a joke.
We need
but-
more votes for me to be transgender. Log on your alt characters on Discord now.
Can you restrict your joke telling to whole jokes? I think half jokes are only half funny.
Oh,
Oh, I agree with that, Jim.
Hey Jim, how'd you do on what's his nuts server?
Oh, I got fed up in the end because they kept interrupting me and left, which is what I usually do on there. I just haven't got the energy. You know what I mean? Not anymore. If
Takes
you
an
know, when I got
enormous amount of
interrupted the 6th time on the same sentence, I just said, "See ya."
You know, you got a full-time job that you do, plus then you give them your time on a stream, whereas their day job is the stream. So
Right.
they got a leg up on you on that. What were the topics they discussed?
Well, the first bit was the first bit was just me and Brandon, and we were just talking about flat Earth, really, and how it had changed over the years, that sort of thing. And then when we got into it, what did we were talking about?
The Antarctica sun.
Oh, yeah, that was it, yeah.
Why doesn't NASA and everybody else come out and defend their own position? Why is it you guys
They
need
think
to
you're
defend
silly and not worth wasting their time on.
Hey, Whammer, I can defend NASA's position.
Oh no, they should defend themselves. You guys don't need to. I mean, you're a good Samaritan for trying, but it's really up to them.
That's why we need to get back to the good old days. Just go on there, fucking, call them cunts, snipe them, porn bomb them.
Right.
Get it done.
Yeah. That was... Troll Team 6 was where it was at, really.
They were porn bombing him?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Well, we weren't... Troll Team 6 weren't porn bombing. Well... Oh, no.
That'd be fun.
Well, people on the
my
periphery.
man, I remember when
The
that happened.
sniping, people in Troll Team 6 were definitely snipers. Definitely.
What is sniping?
Sniping was in the old Google Hangouts. There was a way that you could basically, once you were in there, you could remove everyone else from the Hangout, including the owner. So you
Get
could
out of
basically-
here.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could basically take over the Hangout while it was live on YouTube.
Shit.
And then
Poor Dell.
people would, yeah, I mean, it used to happen. Tim Osman used to do it to Dell every week, like every Saturday without fail. It went on for weeks.
Just a bit.
I remember when they did Patricia Steer, she shared a link by mistake, and someone went on. It was Steve, I think, that went on and sniped the Hangout. And then there was this big battle afterwards with like 2 or 3 other snipers who were saying that it should have been them that got to do Patricia Steer because they were like king of the snipers and it should have been their thing.
I'm actually kind of okay with sniping Patricia Steer.
So yeah, it was fun. It was fun in those days.
Hey, are we allowed to know, if anybody does know, who Sniper on Deck was? Or does that need to be a secret still?
I don't know who that was.
I don't either. And maybe we don't know.
Let me ask
I
you
was
guys
curious
something.
about that, but maybe we'll never know.
This is a side note. What do you guys think about that guy who ran around all those astronauts and said, "Swear on the Bible you went to space"?
I love
him when he got punched in the face.
Yeah.
Remember
Well,
him?
I do.
That was
remember, yeah.
hilarious.
I think he's profoundly dishonest, is what I think.
But the reaction was a little bit outrageous. Just swear on the Bible.
I'll
I
tell
don't
you.
think it is. I don't think it is because I think if you're a believer in the Bible, you wouldn't want to have it sort of treated in that sort of, frivolous manner.
Well, Jim.
And if you don't, then what the fuck? Why would you be swearing on a Bible?
Well, Jim, One would say
Imagine
that
if
the
it
whole
was you,
United
though.
States law is
Imagine
based
if it
upon the
was you.
Bible.
Imagine if it was you and something really obvious to you in your life, a job that you'd done for several years or something like that, and someone just walked up to you in the street and started insisting you swear on the Bible that you did that job. You would think that was fucking ridiculous, right? And you would tell them to
Yeah,
piss
part of me
off.
would.
Yeah, I'd be like, that's fucking ridiculous. Bring me the Quran.
Part of me would. However, just why not satisfy the guy's curiosity in the next case?
It's not required to do that. That's the point.
But their reactions
And
were
also,
a little,
the thing is,
little
if you
far-fetched.
if you put any weight on somebody swearing on the Bible, I think there was at least one. I think it might have been 3, but at least one of the astronauts swore on the Bible.
He got close.
So if you put any weight to it at all, well, it's all over with his single swearing, isn't it?
Did he
What the
really
others did or
swear?
didn't
It
do
was
is
like he got
irrelevant.
upset. He kind of was halfway
swear on
through it, and he didn't do it.
He did swear on it. He did swear on it. You guys think that that's significant. Therefore, the question is answered. They went to the moon.
Well, the thing was isn't the United States law based upon, in God we trust?
No.
What do you mean?
I think the idea is it's specifically not based on that.
Oh, it's
Whammer,
not?
Whammer, if you take me to court and then they have me swear in, I'm not required to put my hand on the Bible. I'm not required to make any religious gesture. I'm not required to do that.
So when you are told to say nothing but the truth, so help you God?
They don't say that. You want me to get the quote for you?
Wait, they don't say that?
This is when ignorance is.
Oh, what do you mean
is yours.
ignorance? I simply
Well, that's
thought
what
that was like
that's
a
what. No, I
standard.
know that's what ignorance is. You thought a thing that's wrong. That is ignorance. It's not like an insult.
So what are they
Bad.
saying now?
Yeah.
Are you saying that was never said in the court?
No. You're misrepresenting what I'm saying. What I'm saying is.
Well, what are you saying?
Okay, I would love to say it. You don't have to interrupt.
Well, let's hear it.
So say it then.
What I'm saying is that if you are religious, you can do that with the Bible. If you are Muslim, you can do that with the Quran. If you're Jewish, you can do whatever the fuck, whatever. And if you're not religious, you're not required to use any religious text. You can swear on whatever you want. If I believe in the spaghetti monster, if I believe in the spaghetti monster, I don't find it far-fetched that I can put my hand on a plate of spaghetti and swear to spaghetti monster.
Hold on. When you're in court and you're brought up as an eyewitness over a matter, and they say, you're saying those terms are wrong that I just said.
I'm not saying they're
In God
wrong.
we
What I'm
trust. You
saying
can
is
turn that
it's
down.
not- that
Aren't you
doesn't
therefore
apply. That doesn't
incredible
apply.
witness?
It doesn't apply
court-
100% of the time.
I can make the
I
court
did the
I mean,
court. I never had
Jennifer
to say
Garner's used underwear to swear on.
No, curved.
Oh fuck! I meant Jennifer Lawrence. Shit.
In the court, I've never had to swear on God.
No, when you're the eyewitness over something, don't they make you swear in?
Yes,
Oh,
that
I
you
was
swear
the
in,
one-
but you don't
no
have to swear
God.
on a Bible or a religious text.
I
You
was the
just
one
swear
getting-
in. It's swear
I've never
or
heard them say
affirm.
anything but "In God we trust"
Right,
at the end.
your ignorance. I
Where
get
where
it.
did you hear them, Whammer?
God you trust.
On
Where
the
did you
telly.
hear this?
I heard it all over the place. Yeah.
It's so
Okay, where did
so
you
help
hear
you
it?
God.
So help you God.
Do you
Okay.
swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
There it is.
Have you ever been in a courtroom, Whammer?
Many times.
Really?
Yes.
And you hear people swear and they say, "So help me God."
That specific part, I don't know if I've been there for that.
I don't remember that when I was in courtrooms.
But you're saying that's not the case.
I don't even
They
remember
just
seeing
did
a
it the
Bible.
other day when the
No.
guy when they had to testify in Congress,
Testify where?
in front of Congress.
We're talking courtrooms. Congress is not a courtroom. And even in Congress, when they swear in, there's no Bible at those things. I've seen thousands of those hearings in Congress, and there's never a Bible present.
Well,
And they never mention the word God.
let's see, wait, let me.
Maybe
find
I'm
it.
misremembering. Oh, shit. Impossible.
Some Mandela effect going on in your head. You
There we go.
remember a
Found it.
lot of stuff.
I found it.
Yeah,
By-
that's possible.
For an atheist, by raising their right hand and swearing, quote unquote, to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of law or for perjury. That's how they do it for an atheist.
For an
Or
atheist.
someone choosing not to do it on a religious
Right.
text.
Right.
Ask you before you take the stand if you're a believer.
Right. So
with
can
its
we
own
put that
set
to
of
bed now?
risks.
So how would they know?
If you don't swear, it comes on its own set of risks. The article says right there.
So can we put that to bed now? Now that you've learned that
It's put to bed.
it's not required to swear on a Bible.
It comes with its own set of risks if you don't. Hello?
Well.
Yeah, and not only that, you said it's not even in there.
What do you mean not in there?
You said that they weren't actually even saying these things, Scott
Oh my
Mackey.
fucking god! No one.
That's exactly what Scott said.
I could be wrong. I'm misremembering, but I know when I was in a few times, I've heard people swear I
You
do not remember
wanker?
them ever mentioning God. Possibly.
Saying he's never heard it before and it's all fucking bullshit.
You just said you haven't heard it
Okay.
yourself.
Who else in this room has been in an American courtroom and heard them say the God stuff?
I've never been in a courtroom.
Actually, no, I did see a trial before. Yeah, I did see that actually. Now that I think about it, I went for
Put a
jury
link in
duty.
the chat.
I had to do it.
They do say it. Yeah, it's exactly like you say. If you don't believe, then there's another version of it. But all it's saying is that you'll tell the truth. That's all it really is.
Yeah,
And
at the end of the day, it's the same
perjury
thing. Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is some significance to the man showing up to the astronauts with the Bible in hand.
No, there's no significance because it's somebody who wants to take advantage of some type of situation for attention and make a big deal about something, essentially doubting.
Did you hear what he says before he asks the astronauts to swear?
Go on, Whammer. What did they say?
Well, if you didn't hear it, then that's an issue, isn't it?
No, you know what they said. What did they say?
There was some kind of binding issue. Clearly, you missed that.
No, inform me. You have it. Let me know. I'm interested.
That was what it was. There was a binding issue. If you did go ahead and swear on it, then there was some binding legality towards it. That's what I remember. I have to actually go watch it again.
What binding legality of some dude walking up with the Bible?
Yeah, there was.
What binding legality are you talking
Well,
about?
like again, so you haven't seen it, so you don't know. Let me refresh your memory and go watch it
I've
again.
seen the dude getting clocked for being a fucking asshole. That's what I saw.
Hey, look, it is funny. It is asshole-ish, okay, obviously, but that's beyond the point.
That's pretty much the whole point.
I think he's been charged with something recently as well as Sibrel. Did I read that? Did I dream it?
I gotta see this again. Where is it?
No, not recently.
Does anyone have the fucking videos? I can't find them.
Remember, this is the same as Thompson going up to people in a coffee shop and harassing them, talking about bubbles in space. I mean, like, why should someone?
Thompson isn't harassing people, man. Enough with the.
You
the
really don't
taking
think that
out
he
of
is?
context rubbish. He's not harassing people.
What do you think harassing means?
Harassment?
And before you answer, I'll even give my interpretation. There is a legal definition, and there's probably a layman definition. But my definition is someone bothering the fuck out of me when I'm just trying to enjoy.
Or what you're not seeing in that one video is also the 30 other guys like him that came at him like that.
Harassment, type of persistent attack. That's the layman idea.
All right, so a persistent attack.
Yeah,
What
like
is Nathan
that causes
Thompson
some type of
persistently?
distress, I'm guessing.
The layman definition for me would be like if they told you to stop and you're not stopping, whatever you're doing.
That's a good one too. I would agree. I think there's many definitions that we could use, and that's another one I would agree with.
However, he's only gone up to these people, I think, once. so he's not persistently attacking them. So therefore, harassment.
You think? Because I'm about to YouTube it right now. You want to stick with those words? Where he isn't persistent?
He's not going in. If you have the same person, he's showing up to day after day, and the person is getting bothered and angry. Show me.
Does it have to be day after day, or can I just tell you?
It has to be. It has
you
to be
approach me and talk to
persistently
me,
over
and I tell you
time.
to
It
fuck
can't
off?
simply just be one time.
No. What I'm saying is, if you come up to me and you start talking about flat Earth or something, and I say, "Hey, fuck off, leave me alone," and then you keep doing it, wouldn't that be considered persistent?
Not necessarily.
All right. Well, you're wrong, but
And it just depends on the context of the situation. I could agree with you if it's outrageous and it's borderline
Yeah, what your opinion is.
potentially physical, then yeah.
It doesn't have to be persistent.
right. And physical isn't harassment. Physical would be battery. Or
Potentially physical. Big difference.
yeah, that'd be more so assault.
Potential is usually what happens, but for you have to be somewhat in fear of some sort for even to come about with harassment charges.
Hey, Bio, what is the difference between assault and battery?
Man, I don't know exactly, because when I was in middle school, some kid said that he broke his leg despite running around, and then I touched his leg, and then he fucking cried, and then I went to the office, and they were threatening me with battery charges.
Wow.
And then I said something like, I didn't even touch him, and they said, well, you were threatening it, so we can still charge you with assault. So I don't know, man. I've had a very skewed opinion about assault versus battery.
Bully.
Growing up in the States, getting sued for everything.
You got bullied for
Little
bullying.
kids.
They bullied you.
Yeah.
Why
that's
are
a
you
good way to
bullying these
look at it.
innocent kids?
Nah, that kid was fucking weird, and he said his leg was broken. He was trying to get sympathy, but he was running around the whole courtyard. I didn't kick him. I made contact, but I didn't kick him. But he went on the ground screaming.
So
and
he
crying.
was leaping around the courtyard. With
No,
a-
literally.
with a broken
We
leg.
had benches. We had benches out there, and he was jumping all over them, jumping off. And again, I'm probably like 12 when this happened, so not the clearest of minds.
I'm not even sure they can charge a minor.
I like the whole. I didn't touch him.
Well, yeah, that's why I mean. Obviously, I'm
nothing.
12. I didn't touch him, so I did, but
What's the earliest age you can remember?
4.
Yeah, I was gonna say 4. Yeah.
I think I'm
remember
at
asking my
a
mom, when's
year and
my
a half.
4th birthday?
Me, it's probably like 3, but again, I don't know like if it's a fabricated memory or not.
That's a good point, because I want to say a year and a half, because I remember getting chased by goose and ducks in Germany. But
That
there's
happened
also
to
a
you? That
there's,
happened
there's
to me
also
too.
a
These
yeah, there's
ducks,
also a
they came
video.
after me.
Yeah, there's also a video of it happening, so I don't know if I'm projecting that video as a memory. I'm not sure.
And the ducks were trying to bite, right?
Well, the ducks were cool at eating bread, but then there was this one fucking asshole goose that chasing me while I was running around my mom. So
Me too. I was on a beach in, I think, some European country, and a goose or some type of big duck was after me.
yeah, fuck
I
birds.
remember when I was like 3-ish, or I think I remember. My mom had to put the kettle on like the stove, and she walked away, and I like went up to it and reached for it and pulled it down, and it like spilled on me and was kind of like warm and stuff, and she was all worried that I got burned. But this, I don't know if it's real.
Could be.
There's a goose taking down a golfer.
Does anyone have this video of the guy making the guy swear in the Bible? I just want to see it again. He's been
I'll take
scrubbed off the internet.
No, you just can't find it.
You know, I just remembered one time about sort of 10 years ago, something happened. And police officer said to me, John, if this goes to court, just remember, just say he started it. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, I just thought I'd share that.
What's the guy's name that ran up to these astronauts?
Bart Sibrel.
What was it again? Sorry.
Yeah.
Bart Sibrel.
Bart Sibrel?
Yeah, BARTSIBREL. Bart. Like Bart Simpson.
He's a bot.
He was the guy that Buzz Aldrin punched in the mouth, wasn't he?
Right.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to find. Yeah.
Personally, I thought that was justified. I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I think most people would agree.
And he was kind of hounding lots of people.
Here we are.
Oh, by the way, Jim, if you're there, I've been watching your Apollo series. It's really good.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's great.
What's it about?
I've got two really on Apollo. One is addressing a funny thing happened on the way to the moon, which is the documentary in inverted commas that Bart Sibrel made before Astronauts Gone Wild, which is the one where he gets punched. And basically, I address every issue, every claim that he makes in that documentary. And then the other one I've got is it's called "How I Know We Went to the Moon." And rather than addressing hoax claims, I just present positive evidence for the moon landings.
This is on your channel?
Yeah, it's on my Humans of Earth channel.
This isn't recent. This is from 3 years ago.
There's one guy, and I gotta find it for you, but he gets into far more detail than simply moon landings. He gets into the paperwork of the actual craft, the missing paperwork, even the blueprints of these crafts were simply didn't fit the profile. I mean, it gets a little deeper than just simply.
This paper moon is it that one?
Is it the paper moon? Hold on, let me see.
Is it?
Real quick, Whammer, the video's up, and essentially Buzz Aldrin's trying to avoid him for about a minute, and then before he punches him, the guy does call him a coward, a liar, blah blah blah.
He calls him a fucking coward. A man who went to the moon. He calls him a coward.
Right. And Buzz is trying to avoid him. It's not like the dude came up one time and then Buzz punches him. It's like hounding him for a full minute, probably with his family.
Buzz right through the whole foyer, walking next to him, just constantly hounding him.
Right.
But a punch is a different level.
But the question is, why didn't Buzz just put his hand on the Bible and go, "Bro, I walked on the moon. You can't."
Three astronauts already did that, mate. Didn't make a fucking difference.
Right.
He's got a fan. He's got the public. He's telling the public he went somewhere. Just put your hand on there and say you did.
Why?
Pretty simple.
He already had three astronauts put their hand on the Bible. Why did he have to hassle Buzz?
Just do it.
It's not required.
Just put it on your mask.
Just throw it on there.
Just put your hand on the Bible. Just put on your mask. It's not hard.
It's not required to do that. So when he does it X
Nothing
amount of
really
years ago,
required of anyone to do anything.
right? So when someone
But, I mean,
insists
come on.
about it and harasses him,
He's the foremost guy out there. That's the first man on the moon, or one of them. He should just put this guy
Why should he have to
to
jump through hoops for some crazy guy?
Armstrong was strong-armed and Buzz Aldrin's a liar.
Tom Cruise is a really famous celebrity. And he's very well known. Does he owe us a fucking thing? No. Just
Cruise
like
is not Buzz
owes us
Aldrin. That's
nothing.
a false comparison.
No, because you're saying that he did something for the public. He owes
No,
fucking
this
nothing.
is far more. This is far bigger than Tom Cruise.
Buzz Aldrin doesn't owe any of us fuck all.
He does
actually.
Hey, who was found walking in the middle of the desert?
Unless, of course, he's being controlled and his life's at risk. Then I get it.
I don't know any of you guys now. I don't suppose you know me, but
I know you intimately.
Oh, do you? But I've spoken to quite a few people through the years who were either intimately involved in the Apollo program or know a lot about it. And one of the things that strikes me is that, the actual real problems that had to be overcome in order for the Apollo program to, come to fruition were just huge obstacles.
So, like never testing out the space lander
and
or the moon lander.
The things that Apollo hoaxers kind of say, that
never testing out the moon lander.
I mean, it's just.
Oh, that's the moon lander.
It's just stupid little things.
They did test it.
Which was the non-tested craft?
They were all tested.
No, they weren't.
I think what you mean. What you mean is that they don't with the lunar module. They don't test fire the engine. I think that's what you're saying.
Talking about testing it to see if it actually works.
Well, that's not true. That it was tested to see if it actually worked.
It's like a big point. I forget where it was brought up, but that was like a large point.
Not big enough to remember, I guess.
On Apollo 9 in Earth
I just
orbit
remembered
and
it.
Apollo 10 in lunar orbit. So it was tested.
Oh no! And they show him crashing a few days before. There's some sketchy stuff going on.
So, Doctor, what's the fit into the whole story? Because they didn't go at all. What would be to test? How could they test something they never even went?
There you go.
According to you, they didn't test anything, right? Because nothing ever got actually built.
Well, it's a different argument.
And so they were and so they were lying about not testing it, right? Because someone told you they didn't test it.
Okay. However, this is where it started from. Where at first they were doubting some of the blueprints, the specs, the paperwork wasn't traceable. There's a lot of things.
But you think those blueprints are just fake anyways, right? Those didn't even exist. Why would they put together fake blueprints?
See, that's not correct.
So what do you believe? I mean, why is this a problem?
Telling you, Scott Mackey, you don't believe anything anyways, so what's the matter?
Yeah, Dr. Whammerway, what is your smoking gun of proof of an Apollo hoax? What is it?
First off, where's the flag? Isn't that flag still up there?
Yeah.
Why can't we see it?
Why do you think you should?
Far away.
Yeah, are you serious about that?
Because it's the size of a
What do you mean? They zoom in all the time on these craters and whatnot.
Why can't we
just
see
to answer that question.
Where's that flag?
To answer that question, if you pointed Hubble at the moon, right, the smallest thing it would be able to resolve is about something like 70 meters in diameter, right?
Is that true?
Yeah, that's well. You can work it out yourself. The diameter of Hubble's mirror, which is I think about 2.4 meters, and if the moon is 250,000 miles away, the smallest thing that it could resolve is about something like 70 meters. So it could see craters, for instance, that are about 70 meters wide, maybe.
Right. I'm not like doubting or making any claims. I just never thought about it. And if that's like the figure, it's very surprising to me for thinking about it for the first time. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, there's no, and especially if you've got, even no matter how big a telescope you've got on the surface of the Earth, if you're shooting through the atmosphere at the moon, there's no way that you're going to pick up something as small as the.
Isn't someone buried up there too?
No.
Yeah, there's somebody buried up there.
Yeah.
Who?
Whammer, where do you get this stuff from?
There's somebody buried on the moon.
Who is it, Whammer?
Hold on, I have to look. I forget. You know, these are things that I've seen in the past.
First of all, we got to prove that you could go to the moon.
Well, that's easy to do.
That's another one.
Nobody's buried.
No one's
on
been
the
there.
moon.
Nobody
buried on the
buried,
moon.
and there's no
Anyway.
flag up there.
So Whammer,
Anyway.
is there someone or is there someone not buried on the moon?
What's going on here, guys?
So just to
Whammer,
go
are you
back to my
being serious right now, Whammer, are you being
Something
serious?
stinks.
Are you being serious? Is this really you? And you're
You know it
understanding?
stinks, and usually when it stinks,
Is this how you
there's
understand?
smoke, and when there's smoke, there's fire.
Is this really you, Whammer? Is this what you really think and understand?
No, he's
Or
taking the piss.
Are you just playing? Just tell me
You
the
know
truth.
what do you think?
Oh, I already
Right,
know. I'm asking
Dr.
you.
Whammer, Dr. Whammer, just to go back to my original question that you haven't really answered, what is your smoking gun of proof of an Apollo hoax?
His remains were sent to the moon. I don't know if the person himself was buried, but it's this guy.
What you talking about?
What are you guys looking proof for? Guy being buried there?
There's a dead guy on the moon or not?
There's some dude up there that they had a big grave for. They had the 21 gun salute.
Where was he murdered?
They just copy and pasted it.
Where was this guy murdered?
Wait a minute, I didn't know.
Murder
Did
on
you
the
get
dark
that?
side of the moon. Right?
21 gun salute.
Ah, that's why they call it the dark side of the moon.
But this doesn't matter, fuck. Doctor, answer my question, please, if you don't mind.
What was the question?
What is your smoking gun of proof of an Apollo hoax?
It's the lack of evidence.
Specifically,
That's
please.
the smoking gun. Not only that, there's multiple things. We can get into seeing the moon during the day, seeing through half of the moon.
What
do we have to, what else
what
do I
I'm
have to
asking
say?
you-
It goes on and on. All the
what I'm asking you-
different. There's even a photo on the moon. This guy's on the moon, and you see the horizon.
Yeah, that's
in his
that's great.
helmet.
What
At
I'm
the
asking
same
you,
time, you see the back of the moon, so it shows a mini moon. And not only that, you also see the Earth, which looks mini compared to what it's supposed to be. There's many things.
Okay, what I'm asking you specifically is what is your number one most important Apollo hoax thing? What is it? I don't want you to.
I don't know if there's a
regale
number
me
one.
with
I
it.
think they're all pretty.
Apollo
They
mission
all
you
come
talking
together
about?
as a number one.
No, but just name one.
Name one proof.
Yeah.
I don't know which proof I'd pick.
Well, that's what I'm asking you to do.
I gotta think of one. Give me some time.
See, I remember there's like some pictures of Mars. Well, that's not the moon, but some pictures of Mars, and they claim it's like Arctic lemmings and shit.
Yeah, you can't explain that.
Or it's like a donut, or like a coffee cup. Funny things.
Caught red-handed.
The Stellar eclipse is pretty interesting too.
Oh, I love this one. What's interesting about it?
Celine Dion eclipse.
A selenelian.
Celine Dion.
I don't really understand the problem with the selenium eclipse.
180 degrees. They're saying refraction rises both the
AKA
images.
the impossible eclipse.
Yeah, what's so odd about that? If I stand on a yoga ball or ball, I can still see something to my left and to my right, even if they're 180 degrees apart from each other.
This is the Earth we're talking about, pal.
I think it's because the light, or I think the sun is from below it, but the shadow's above it, or something. It's been a while since I looked at it.
But if you've got a lunar eclipse, at that point in time, the sun and the moon are 180 degrees apart in the sky, and if you're standing with an unobstructed view of both horizons, the west and east horizons, you've got a 180 degree view. So even without refraction or anything, you're going to be able
Refraction
to
is the whole
see.
reason we see them.
Well, even geometrically, you're going to if the right time, you would see half the moon rising and.
Well, let me
half
get
the
this straight,
sun.
John. You're saying that horizon can lift the moon and the sun up at the same time. Show me the bottom of that wind turbine at 11 miles. It could somehow lift that out of the water.
No, what
Does
I'm
a
saying,
lot of magical things. This is refraction.
no, you've misunderstood what I said entirely. What I'm saying is geometrically, without refraction, if you've got an unobstructed view of the horizon, even without, say, there's no atmosphere at all.
The apparent horizon, or
you could
what?
actually have, you could see half the moon rising in the east, and you could see half of the sun as it sets in the west, geometrically, without any refraction whatsoever. But if you do have refraction, and we know that the air has a refractive index,
Always refraction.
it's quite possible. It's quite possible that you could see both of them slightly above the horizon at the same time. There's no. That's
a 0.0000 chance, but yeah.
Why do you say 0.000 chance?
Not
I
only
just told
that,
you how it
guys,
works.
another interesting
The only
idea
way-
is
the only way
just
you
the
get
idea of eclipse itself. How come nobody's been able to actually track the moon and show the moon covering the sun? It's as if it disappears and then all of a sudden begins to cover the
That's
sun.
literally
This is
what
I've been
happens,
trying to
Whammer.
find an
Literally
answer to.
happens where we track it all the fucking time. There's not a moment when
you
people
can't
on
see
Earth.
anything.
There's
Can't pick
not,
it up as it
there's-
approaches the sun. You simply cannot see it, and it doesn't matter what solar filter or whatever the fuck filter you got. They cannot
Bullshit.
see
Just go
it
to the picture.
approaching the sun.
Nope, there it is right there.
That's not what I'm
HDR
talking
version.
about. You're missing my
Yeah.
point. I said approach the sun, not actually
I've done
on
this.
the sun. Hello.
I've done this. I mean, during a
Never been done. You can't see it.
during a solar eclipse.
Show me a video that shows the moon approach the sun and then cover the sun.
You're just taking the piss.
No, this is a
During a-
reality. Show me a moon. Show me
Listen,
the moon, approach
during-
the sun, and then cover the sun.
Right.
I'm saying
During a solar
approach. So approach
Hey,
means
hey,
it's
okay.
10 miles away from the sun, or 100 miles away, whatever it is. I want to see it approach.
Right, stop now. During a solar eclipse, if you expose the photograph properly, you can actually see the moon.
No.
And all the seas and the
No, you actually
prominent
can't, John.
craters and the prominent craters on the moon.
John, you can't do it.
Well, you're just denying reality.
No, show me.
What?
Show me.
Luke, just you must have Google. Just look
I
it
know,
up.
that's the problem. I've Googled. Can't find anything.
Fuck off.
Yeah, even though I'm
Oh,
flat
so you're
earther.
just talking. You're not really ready to provide anything, are you, John?
I'm not gonna fucking.
Yeah, you're not going to do anything. You're just talking.
Well, that's what you're doing. You're gonna dance to
Well, I'm
your tune
asking
and,
for
and
the
like,
evidence that the moon can be
scurry,
seen
scurry
approaching
about and
the fucking
provide
sun as
you
it
with
eclipses. I just want to see it.
pictures. You expect me to?
I don't
you know,
expect
do
you
a
to do
Google
anything.
search?
Honestly, you've already proven you can't do anything. So no, you're out.
Well, what are
Anybody.
you doing? What are you doing, and what have you ever done? Nothing.
He's asking you for stuff.
I hate it when you guys fight, man.
I'm not trying to fight. He is
I know, I'm just
simply
kidding.
telling me that this is a reality and he can't provide his evidence. And that's
All
okay.
you have to do.
I know
is
it's
Google it.
impossible because I haven't seen it yet. I'd be very interested too, though.
Dude, he already told you he Googled it. He didn't find anything.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Well, then try to prove me wrong. Go ahead and Google it up.
If I just add one quick thing, because I know I'm a flat earther until tomorrow night, but I still say that I do know for certain, because I've noticed this, that every single, I think you're talking about the solar eclipse, every single solar eclipse that I have ever known of has always occurred at the exact moment that the new moon phase occurs. And I don't know if you've known this before, but the new moon phase is famous for you not being able to see the moon.
Yo, they should be able to see something.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, come on.
Because of the fact that the sun's so bright.
Oh,
so I think what's happening is usually the sun, they're not passing one another. It's like, pretty close to it, but it's not in front of it. The sunlight is blocking it out. And basically, when you're seeing a solar eclipse, the same exact thing is happening. The
Oh,
only
come
difference
on.
is it actually is going to pass right in front of the sun, and so
I
you
would
will
love
see.
to agree with you. I really would.
Yeah,
Oh, not
that's
chemo. I mean,
that's exactly
Kosho,
what happened.
sorry.
So
That's
what's the
exactly what
explanation for a new moon phase in flat Earth then? Why can't you see the moon if it's its own luminescence?
Hey, I'm trying to still figure out the globe Earth. So
So you don't
forget
have
about the
it.
Earth.
So you don't have one, right? So this moon thing that creates
It's irrelevant.
So this moon thing that creates its own light suddenly doesn't
Relevant.
create its own light when it gets near the sun thing. Yeah, no, it's
The moon, boys.
interesting.
This is a really interesting question.
Why do you suspect you'd be able to see the moon when all the
the
light?
sun? There should be a tracking. It should be tracked. It should be seen.
How?
And this shouldn't
How?
be some kind of mystery.
Okay, how?
Exactly. Somebody should have some kind of filter to bring it in.
What makes you think there any filter could bring in something that has no light shining on it?
Wait, so you're saying there's no light on it?
There is. It's behind it, at least from our perspective. The light is all on the backside of the moon from
What are
our
you saying
perspective.
exactly? We can't bring any part of it in, even with the
Here,
35,000
I'll say it again.
satellites
I'll
in the
say it
air?
again. I'll say it again.
Even with
light
the
shining
35,000
on the moon.
satellites in the air,
Are you gonna let me
retarded?
finish?
Seriously, you got to be
Are you gonna let me
retarded.
finish, Weimer? The light hitting the moon when it's in its no moon phase or new moon phase is on the backside of the moon to us. None of the front of the moon, the part that we can see, has any light hitting it. That's why we can't see it. Which part of that is not clear?
we have 35,000 satellites. We have all sorts of things out there in space
all
that
of
can
it?
view this and
All of it isn't clear?
see anything, see any part of it. Yet we've never seen any of it.
It's only not visible for a very short time. I think the earliest new moon photograph is like 1 second after the moment of new moon or something like that.
Jem, you can
Very,
agree with
very
me. It's a
close.
little odd.
What is? I'm not quite sure what the argument is, but
As the moon approaches that fucking sun, there could be from some angle out there in space, since we have all these satellites and every other fucking thing watching the moon.
I
Showing
agree,
the moon.
Weimer. Like, I'm being honest. Why wouldn't there be? All these missions and the stuff in the ISS, all the stuff you guys say is out there, right? Satellites. Yet you guys have never, ever recorded that?
nobody is trying to prove the existence of the moon.
Yeah,
Everybody
Stacey, no, we're not
accepts
talking
the
about
moon
existence
is
of the
a
moon.
peak. It's just
Stacey,
you
let's
guys
calm
that think
down.
that.
Panda,
That's
come
why
on,
nobody
buddy
has
boy. You
bothered
know
to
that's
gather evidence to satisfy your guys.
It's not us. This is everyone.
The pictures
This is
in the chat.
Everyone. It's just
Steel
you.
clubbing
It isn't everyone. Nobody else
Us.
doubts
This is
the
the
existence
public here.
of the moon.
We don't
as
represent
described.
flat Earth.
No
We
Sort
represent the
just put the
public.
picture in the chat. Sort just put it in there. There's your picture.
Only
The satellite.
lunatics who think we
You guys,
don't know what the moon
have
is.
problems with angles.
Oh,
Like,
wow. Let's
flat
take a look
earthers-
at this picture.
Flat earthers get a F
That's where the
in
word
geometry
lunatic
and
comes from.
trigonometry.
Hold on.
Trigonometry,
Take a look at that picture, Jim.
You're not being for real, right, with that picture, right? That's what you're going to provide and say that that's legit?
Yes.
Move the
Hurrah.
goalpost.
Wow, y'all.
Picture, Jim.
Wow.
We're a million miles away. Yep. Yeah.
Argument, Stacey. Wow, good argument.
Look at that photo,
You know,
boys.
Powerful,
It's not an argument. It's
compelling.
Or image or
I didn't say
whatever.
it was an
the fuck
argument. I'm
unbelievable.
saying wow out loud because that fucking looks so fake. I guess it has to be real.
Does it look
To
fake?
you,
I see
to
what you
you,
did
it
there.
looks fake.
You see,
To the ignorant, it looks
it's
fake.
not an argument. So
Sunspot on that moon. How come there's no sunspot on the back of that moon?
Well, there's a shadow.
Look at the light that's hitting the moon. Where's the sunspot? Typically, there's on any ball when you hit it with light, there's like an intense point. Where is it?
Are you talking about when you get a type of reflection off of it, so you get a spot?
That's what we're talking about. Reflection. There should be some type of
Should there be?
centralized. Or,
I mean,
Been
the
listening
clouds
to
are
QE too
pretty
long.
white.
You've been listening to
What do you
QE too
mean?
long. Specular reflections don't happen on matte surface type objects, especially like
matte
those.
surface like the moon. You're saying?
Yeah, like not
Oh, it's a
shiny
matte now. It's a matte surface.
matte surface. Yeah.
Oh,
matte.
this is ludicrous.
How do you spell
Well,
that?
you're retarded. I
Probably
am.
Ludicrous,
MATT.
Sam.
Matte
Probably
itself,
Mate.
and go get your slobber news out there and dribble up your dinner. Come on.
Danik, you've been smoking the pipe a little too long to call
right.
the moon a
You're the
matte-like
one.
surface.
You're the one that doesn't understand angles or trigonometry. or believe in
Duty
pictures.
crack.
Hold on, Whammer. What do you think he meant by matte? When he says the word matte-like surface, what do you think he means by that?
Reflective substance of the moon.
No, specifically the matte. Are you saying
That's
not
what he
reflective?
meant. Some type of reflection that a matte-like surface would give off.
Like a doormat.
Biodual.
Matthew Broderick.
This is rubbish. That photo's rubbish, and there's no. It's rubbish.
You could say the words, but that's not evidence or reason.
And you know it too, Biodual. Don't sit here with your discerning eyes and say it's not.
I have no reason to think that it isn't.
Oh,
That's
on,
like
where?
what I would expect from the back. If I'm on the other side of the moon looking at a solar eclipse, that's probably what I would expect to see. Yeah. Well, what's the problem? What's the problem?
Shit.
Honestly.
I got a picture for you. Can you see the chat, Whammer? Yes or no?
Yeah, I see your little photo.
So you have a matte finish, slightly shinier finish, and then a.
So hold on, a matte finish.
Wait. You don't got to talk over me when I'm speaking. It's very annoying.
Oh, I'm very sorry. Go ahead.
Your apology accepted. So you have a matte finish, a semi-polished surface, and then a polished surface. You can see the reflection. The specular reflection changes. You got to stop listening to Quantum Racer.
It's still there, even on the matte finish. You can see the intensity at one specific point.
Oh my God. Are you really being serious?
Dead serious. Take a look at it.
Now, if you make that object much larger, and make
the one on the left
much farther away, you'll
This
see
is your proof, and you're showing exactly what I'm talking about.
Listen to me. The light, you see the shadow is very blurry as well, because we have the distance of the light source to those objects. The intensity of light is not the same as the sun, nor the sizes, nor the distances. Once you put all those things together,
proves what I was saying, Sam.
Once you put all those things together, then you see exactly what we see on the Earth, Moon, and Sun system. So don't say we don't see that. These are just an example.
We don't see it. And I'm not repeating. I'm simply just observing, and this isn't what we're
This is
seeing.
an example of, you can imagine if we made it even more extreme, the matte surface, less matte of a surface.
Extreme. It would be the same idea.
Still, you would see what we see on the moon.
Guys,
So just because you can't imagine, just because you can't do
No,
triangles,
you just proved my point.
your point, you don't have a point.
You made
You've
my
never had
point
a
with your little photograph.
don't have a
You
point.
think proves
You
your
just made my
point, which it
point.
doesn't, and it only proves mine. So well done.
if you look at my picture,
What
round
is
about
mine? What is
3,
yours?
4 o'clock, 4, 5-ish, there is a brighter spot on the moon. There you go. Seems to
Let's take a look. Post it up there.
Take a look.
Don't be a dick, Mike.